Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Jenny, how you doing today?
I'm good.
How you, Skip?
Wednesday.
Oh, what?
Did you
Lots to
see
talk
what
about?
the GOAT of right now did
No,
last night? He is the GOAT of right now. Yeah, here we go.
Whatever.
Is that what we're calling him these days?
You need to stop
He's
that.
the GOAT of
Everybody
right
know.
now.
Everybody know who the GOAT of Staples is.
Okay.
Everybody know.
Yeah.
Up for debate. We'll get there. We have a great show lined up today. Did Tom Brady reveal that his time in New England is over? And are Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs being disrespected at home? But first, we've got to talk about LeBron versus Kawhi, the GOAT of...
Right now.
Monday night, LeBron dropped 31 points and 8 assists against his former team, the Cavs, after coming off a DNP due to illness. Last night, Kawhi Leonard made his own statement against the Cavs. Kawhi put up 43 points in just over 28 minutes, becoming only the third player ever to score at least 43 points in under 29 minutes of play. So, Skip, I start with you.
Thank you.
Who had the better game against the Cavs, LeBron or Kawhi?
Shannon Sharpe, I got bad news for you. Kawhi Leonard made LeBron James look foolish last night because last night, the superstar who lives in the basement of Staples Center came up to the main floor and said, "Watch this, LeBron. This is how you do it against a bad basketball team. You score 43 in just 3 quarters, and then you take the 4th quarter off." And as memory serves, LeBron scored only 17 through 3 quarters on Sunday night. And then he stat padded, as he often does, by pouring it on the poor Cavaliers with 14 more points in a blowout game in the 4th quarter to get all the way up to 31. So let's reiterate. Kawhi scored 43 in 3 and took the 4th quarter off, and LeBron scored only 17 through 3 quarters and then 14 in the 4th quarter, while, wait a second, Kawhi scored 17 in just the 3rd quarter alone and said, "Nope, I'm done for the night. I take the 4th quarter off." So the Clippers won their game against the Cavaliers by 25. The Lakers won their game against the Cavaliers by 29. But this was yet another glaring example of why LeBron, at age 35, year 17, is wasting so much energy and risking energy in order to pile up points in 4th quarters of blowout games. And this is what I call load mismanagement on LeBron's part, because obviously, he's at least as concerned about setting all-time scoring records as he is about winning this year's championship, which Kawhi obviously has his eye on the bigger prize because, as he said after the game, and I'll get to this in a minute after you speak, he's talking about how you got to have fun right now because it is a marathon, not the sprint that LeBron keeps running. He runs sprint after sprint after sprint. Yet, believe it or not, Kawhi Leonard has played 3 straight games. That's a pretty big deal for him.
Back to back.
Well, what did LeBron do on Saturday night? He actually load managed. He said, "I cannot play the back-to-back of a road back-to-back second game at Oklahoma City." And I don't blame LeBron for that until he finally tries to tell us that he's sick as a dog because he's got flu-like symptoms, and he was so sick as a dog that he wound up on Sunday night up on stage with Bad Bunny at Staples Center. Blah, 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 blah. He's just rapping away.
Yeah.
I don't know how he had no voice. I don't know how he did it. Savannah got him up, got him
chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, little chicken noodle soup,
and
Special recipe.
he just reached down with his miraculous powers of healing, and he said, "I can do this, Savannah. I can go to Staples tonight for the big one." The big game? No, the big Bad Bunny concert. I got to be up there rapping.
Gotta go.
So here we go. In the end, if we want to do level playing field, LeBron against Cleveland was playing without his partner in crime, no AD. But guess what? Last night, Kawhi did that, 43 points without his partner in crime. There was no Paul George. He's fighting a hamstring injury as we head toward game number 3 between the Lakers and Clippers, which will come up January 28th, which is the Tuesday night of Super Bowl week. We will be in Miami, but we will be watching this game.
Sure will.
So my guy shot last night, made 6 of 10 three-point shots. LeBron was 1 of 3. My guy, boy, he just nails his free throws. He's a 90% free throw shooter. He made 9 of 10.
What was LeBron?
LeBron was 6 of 7, which was rare for him.
Yeah,
it was like a shockingly good night for him as he still lingers down in the 60s.
69.7.
Okay, he's still in the 60s. So, and again, Kawhi got a lot of help from old Big Zoo Block. He was blocking shots. He blocked 4. But boy, did LeBron not get a lot of help from Dwight, who had 21 points and 15 rebounds?
What did Sweet Lou have last night?
He did pretty well.
Oh, pretty well.
Yeah.
Didn't he score like 24 points in under 20 minutes?
Yeah, he was really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the point is, my guy had a much better game, but my guy showed you how to have a great game against a bad team, while your guy had to pour it on in the fourth quarter, and he will pay for that in the marathon that is the NBA season.
You done?
Yep.
Good. My turn.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yes. Hold on. Did you just said Kawhi showed LeBron how to do a poor Cavs team, right? Mm-hmm. A poor Cavs team that was in the second night of a back-to-back.
Yep.
That Cavs team? Not that Cavs team, right, Skip? Oh, so if I'm not
three quarters.
Whoa.
Kevin Love, yeah.
He did that. Guess what, Skip? I'm glad you mentioned that because I wasn't even bring it up. I'm glad you brought that back to my attention because it was in the back of the back. I wouldn't even bring it up, but since you brought it up, he got up more shots in 3 quarters in 29 minutes than LeBron got up in 4 quarters in 33 minutes.
That's the way to do it.
No, that's the way to do it.
Do it.
Stat padding.
Yeah, you don't have Paul George.
Oh, whoa. We didn't have Anthony Davis, and I want you to stop. It's not your turn. Now, when you talk, I let you free flow. I let you go ahead and spit your bars. You up there with Bad Bunny doing your thing.
I was spitting.
Exactly. So let your boy have his little moment.
All right.
Hold up. How about this, Skip? Why do you keep doing this? You know good and well. Now, the game, if I'm not mistaken, the Clippers were up 16 the start of the third. Kawhi played every last minute. At the end of the third quarter, they're up 37, 38. Why would he play all that? He could have just played 16 minutes and got the same thing. Because when LeBron plays like that, LeBron start the fourth quarter, they're up 9 points. LeBron, why are you playing? Really? So I'm trying to figure out why Kawhi was in the ball game. Why was he playing all 12 minutes of the third quarter, Skip? It was unnecessary.
Well, you just got to make sure it's over.
Oh!
Yeah.
So when LeBron plays in the fourth quarter...
LeBron's game was over. They're up 14 after 3. Over.
Hold on. So it's over at 14 after 3, but it's not over when you're up 16?
What's the big... It's 3 quarters versus 4 quarters?
Yeah, no.
It's over.
It was over. So you said the poor Cavs. So if it was over for LeBron at 14, they were up 14. Shouldn't it have been over the poor Cavs with the second night of a back-to-back? Now, LeBron James shot 75%, 12 of 16. Now, you told me the other day, you just told me yesterday, little LeBron, with no AD, you only got 2 rebounds? Can you tell the people at home how many rebounds Kawhi had last night?
4. He doubled
had
it.
3.
3? I thought it was 4.
No, he had 3.
Are you sure?
I'm 1,000% certain.
I thought he had 4 assists.
4 assists.
Oh, hold on.
Rebounds.
If you don't mind me asking, how many assists did LeBron have?
He had 8, but guess what? Dwight had 21 on 9 of 11. Guess how many of those 8 were Bad Bunny assists, right? Where you just lob it up to him?
So now,
Bad Bunnies.
So let me ask you a question.
Yep.
How many assists of John Stockton do you think went to Mailman when he was laying the ball up or dunking it? We ain't never say that. Now we gotta. Oh, LeBron got the old cheap assist. Dwight Howard was dunking the ball. Don't do that, Skip. That should be beneath you.
Well, how many of the 9 of 11 that Dwight made were dunks? What would you guess? I don't know for sure, but I'll bet you 8 of them were dunks.
Let me ask you a question. If you don't mind me asking, who lead the league on assisted threes?
I don't know. You have a
You do know. Yeah, I'm letting a 24-hour flu going around.
It's going around.
24-hour flu.
Yeah.
Look.
It comes and goes.
I love how Kawhi talking about we got to have fun. Jenny, where was that in, if you don't mind me asking, in November and December when they were steamrolling? I ain't hear nothing about no fun. But when they go the last 13 games, they're 7-6. In the last 13, let's have fun. This is a marathon. Well, LeBron James says, I'm Kipchoge. I'm the only man to go under 2 hours in the marathon. So I run it like a sprint. Oh, Skip Bayless, he go tag it along, try to pace himself. I run as hard as I can for as long as I can, because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to get home quick.
That's crazy talk.
No, they're crazy.
You know what? LeBron should take what Kawhi said after the game and make it his Bible, his new Bible.
You see,
his Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John came out of the mouth of Kawhi Leonard after the game.
Skip Bayless, you run marathons. You a runner, you know. They said it was insane. The human body cannot withstand such. There is no way a man can run 26.2 miles in under 2 hours. Kipchoge says, hold my beer.
I think he's having beer.
They said, ain't no way a man in year 17 at 35 years of age can do what he's doing. 25, 10, and 7.5. LeBron James said, watch this. He doing it, Skip Bayless. See, there comes a time, there are some people that you meet that defies the laws of physics. They shouldn't be able to do what they do at that age.
I used to think that until Christmas Day of a year ago when what happened at Golden State?
Skip.
The groin, he said, popped. I don't know. Popped.
Pascal Siakam just got back after being gone a month. 22, 23 years of age, Jenny, a groin injury. So groin injuries happen.
True.
Not just because you get old. They happen. Sudden movement, one way, front, back, side, leg split. LeBron did it kind of like a split, diving for a ball. Don't do that, Skip Bayless. Let that man play. Now, you beat him up because when he wouldn't play, LeBron, you owe it. Michael Jordan played this many, 82 games. And at 40 years of age, you played 42. Now the man want to play. Sit down, LeBron, sit down. No, Skip.
Pace yourself.
Pace for what?
You're much older than Kawhi Leonard. He's got a huge advantage.
And much better than Kawhi Leonard.
I don't know about that.
I know.
That's 2 games in the last 12 that Kawhi has gone over 40. So he picks his spots and says, watch this.
Yeah, well, he got to pick his spot because we don't know when the hell he's going to play, Jenny. You know they played 41 games. He's missed 10. So we at the halfway point, so I expect another 10 to 15 missed games. LeBron just going to keep...
too.
LeBron going to keep on doing what he's doing.
Yeah, that's called load mismanagement.
No. We play.
You need to take your fourth quarters off against bad teams, and it seems like the Lakers play a bad team every night. Right? How many times you get to play Cleveland? They must play Cleveland like 17 times.
That was the first time we played Cleveland. You know it.
Yeah. Well, here comes somebody, Orlando.
Oh yeah, Orlando, nice little squad. Yeah. Hold up. Didn't they beat the Clippers?
Yeah.
Why you keep looking?
19 and 21.
Look, Skip, they're two different type players. One has a lot more responsibility than the other guy. If you notice, Doc Rivers ain't said nothing about he turning the keys over to Kawhi. He put that in Pat Beverly's hands. Who's driving the Lakers' car? Who's driving?
LeBron's the point guard.
Okay,
they've acknowledged it publicly. So, he is now our starting point guard.
So when is Doc going to turn the keys over to Kawhi? Kawhi has never had the responsibility that LeBron James has. Never.
Well, all he did was carry the Toronto Raptors to a championship that nobody saw coming.
Oh, well,
right?
Yeah. Nobody saw Kevin Durant tearing his Achilles. Nobody saw Klay Thompson tearing his ACL. Nobody saw that coming. You're absolutely right. Because you know and I know.
Guess what? LeBron watched all that from his couch.
Yes. It didn't matter. Once those guys got hurt, look, when those guys got hurt, Philadelphia, whomever would won on the Eastern Conference side would have won the finals. But you and I both know, because you saw what happened when KD came out there for just that brief moment. Just imagine 4 games of that. Imagine Klay Thompson.
I agree. He's the best player on the planet. What do you expect?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can debate that another date and time. But all I'm saying is this, is that you try to... See, I noticed this. You've been doing this a lot lately. So it's telling me, Jenny, he like what he seeing. You've been poo-pooing O'Brien lately. You know, without AD, he been doing big things. Now, he give you 35, 16, and 7, or you talking about, oh, Luka is so overrated, the Dallas Mavericks aren't that good. And then... he took the night off, and then he came back and gave you one of those virtuosos in minimum amount of time. Now, LeBron James is playing the fewest minutes he's ever played in his 17-year career. But that's not enough for Skip. He's shooting a high percentage. That's not enough. He's starting to make his free throws. That's not enough. And
he leads the NBA in fourth quarter shot attempts, and they played a whole bunch of bad teams. What does that tell you? He's pushing to A, chase Kareem's all-time scoring record or set all kinds of longevity scoring records or try to win an MVP at age 35, which only Karl Malone has done.
Skip, you do realize that when they start the fourth quarter, for the first 45 minutes of the fourth quarter, Anthony Davis is always on the bench. Now, who's going to score? They really don't have guys that can go get
When you're up 20, what does it matter?
Skip, ain't nobody, they're not up 20.
They're always up.
No, they're not.
They're killing teams.
No,
they're blowing them out.
The score
They're on a roll.
It's no, at the end, hold on. They went on the roll when they lost four straight. That's not what you said. Oh, LeBron James, what's going on? Now they roll out like 9. Now they ain't playing nobody.
Do you realize that Kawhi Leonard last night was only the third player to score 43 or more in under 29 minutes in the shot clock era?
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's pretty special.
If you don't mind me asking, who is he playing? Those bad Cavs? Okay, I'm just making sure.
Well, I'm just
making sure that there's still them bad Cavs on the second night of the back-to-back.
Okay, but you could be playing the Cavs G League team, and it's still hard to score 43 in 29 minutes. It shows you what he's capable of when he says, watch this.
Hold on, Skip. Now, you just said when LeBron was efficient, they were fresh. Now, mind you, the Cavaliers had been in L.A. for like 3 or 4 days. Now, Skip Bayless just told me like 2 or 3 days ago, there are certain cities you don't want to be if you're a professional athlete and you got to play there. You don't want to be there for an extended period of time. If I'm not mistaken, Skip, you said Miami and L.A. Now, the Cavaliers had been here for an extended period of time because they beat the Lakers. If I'm not mistaken, they beat the Nuggets, flew here, had a day off, played, still here, played again the next night. Whoa, so not only are you bad, you in L.A. where there's so much going on.
Which is why take care of business in 3 quarters. Don't show me you need 14 in the fourth quarter to stat pad.
You do realize that the Cavaliers get paid. Okay, I just want to make sure that we know that even though they're a bad team, their record says they're a bad team, Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love and Jetty Osman, they get paid. The teams get paid.
Larry Nance, he gets paid. He was back for the first time last night. Gave him a new little bit of energy and pop. Yep. Okay.
Oh, LeBron, he just rolled up 31 on a 12 or 16. I'm just trying to figure out how a man get that many shots up into. So he averaging a shot a minute. A shot a minute, Jenny. That's some kind of record, too. Hey, Lions need to record that. Only James Harden can get up more shots than Kawhi Leonard in that amount of time.
So, as LeBron James tries to show the world that he can do it all, he's in a rush to do it. He's going to show you he can run a sprint for 82 games.
Yeah, Kipchoge.
What did Kawhi say after the game? We just can't be in a rush. That's what I'm telling his teammates. Just be patient. It's hard to win a championship. The pressure isn't even on us now. He's just saying it hasn't even started yet. Just enjoy the process.
Shut up.
Enjoy the process and have fun.
We got to rush because you're not playing every night.
LeBron's message to his team is, I need help every night because I'm chasing Kareem.
No, we need help at Skip. We're trying to win games. Because, like you said, the Clippers get up for the Lakers. But guess what? You don't get the Lakers in 3 straight rounds. You better, okay, you worry about the Lakers, and them other teams just picking you off, just hitting you upside your head.
Sometimes.
And all you do about, you looking over there at the Lakers and the Rockets, pow, slap you.
Maybe.
The Bucks, pow, slap you.
Maybe.
Everybody just slap you upside your head.
Maybe. But you know what? I think they're going to make the playoffs, and that's all they really care about.
We're going to make the playoffs, and guess what, Skip Bayless? Number 1 seed.
You probably
And I'm going to get my 5Ks of due because I told you we're going to win more than 56.
Okay. You might be right about that.
We'll see. So,
unless, I'm going to knock on wood before I even say this, unless LeBron pushes himself too far and something pops.
Hold on. Talk about where we get the extra game, Jenny. Where we get the extra game from? Because at one point, I thought we were like 26-7. I mean, why we get all the? I mean, we were 24-7 at one point in time. How we get 33 wins? Where they come from? Did somebody just give us these games?
33-7. Not bad.
So Kawhi Leonard, before the season started, he circled game 1. Then he circled the next game against the Lakers. Then he circled game 3 on January 28th. And what do they play 4 times? He circled another one down the road somewhere.
Bet they catch the L.
Yeah.
They gonna catch the L in both of those.
Watch this. Watch
Bet
this.
they catch the L in both of those.
So
we got to make some statements and statements.
You know what?
Statements.
Let's go ahead and put that do on it right now.
Okay, let's put it.
What you want? How many cases you want to do on there? On the 28th.
I want 1 case of.
No.
It's your home game. It's going to be a Laker crowd.
Skip.
Well, what are the odds? Are the odds not in your favor?
Hold on, Skip.
What will you be favored by?
Look.
6, 8, what? It's your home game.
No.
We live in the basement.
Yeah, good, but you still got a key. You know what I'm saying, Jenny? You know, sometimes you have a guest.
We don't even need a key. We just walk up the stairs.
You know, I got a guest house.
Knock on the door.
You know, I got a guest house, and I had somebody, a tenant, living in the back.
Do you?
Yeah, I
Up
had
in Bel Air?
Yeah, I had one. He had to go.
You had to go?
Why do you have to go?
He had to go.
Why?
He was bothering you.
I just didn't feel comfortable with somebody living in the back of the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm sure it would be nice.
But he had a key. He had a key, not to the main residence, but he could go, go and come as he please. He had a clicker to open the gate, skip, come in. Yeah.
I got it.
So we let Kawhi and the Clippers have a little thing.
Even though it's Kawhi's town.
Not Kawhi's town.
The ad says Kawhi town.
Hold on. I ain't seen him. When last time you seen one of them commercials, Jenny?
You know what? I thought of that the other day. I saw a billboard recently driving.
Where were you at?
Over by my house.
Whoa.
South Bay. There were a few Kawhi billboards, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it must be Kawhi Town over there.
Yeah, it must be. But up in this area, and from the airport, El Segundo, and all the way back down to Tijuana, Laker Town.
It is Laker Town. It's going to be a Laker crowd on that night, so you got all the advantage. But I'll bet you one case right now. I'm having the courage of my convictions. I'm always taking the underdog. You always take the favorite. You never have the guts to go out on the limb. You're always saying, let me front run. So what are the odds after the Clippers win the first two games that they're going to win 3 in a row? I'll take a case right now on the Clippers.
Hold on. You told me they're the better team.
Yeah. It's a Laker home game. This is like do or die psychologically for the Lakers.
It ain't like, look.
No, seriously, it is.
Basketball.
I mean, if you lose 3 in a row, you're going to be saying, we just can't beat this team.
Do you remember Miami with their first year? They first got together in Miami. The Bulls wiped the floor with the Heat. When it came down to it in the playoffs, what happened, Skip?
Boy, that was bold.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. I don't worry about that. I don't even worry about all the regular season because you just told me regular season doesn't matter. That's what you just told me. I mean,
except for the games because they're clearly the best two teams, right? Is there anybody else in the conversation?
The Bucks.
I mean, the Rockets lost at Memphis last night. Way to go, Ja Morant.
No. Ja Morant's my guy.
He is not your guy. You didn't even like him in the NCAAs last year.
I told Ja.
You did.
Wait a minute. I told you Ja was going to have a better career than Zion.
I love Ja Morant.
And I told you he was going to be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he's not going to have a better career than Zion.
Well, Zion got to start to have a career, Skip. At some point in time, you got to play to have a career.
Closer.
That is true. Well, Josh had his struggle shooting until last night.
But Ja whipping him behind his back and dropping him down.
Daring him to shoot threes, and he made one, and he turned to James Harden and
started stepping back on him.
Tell that who I am. Yeah. Way to go, Ja.
My guy.
Yeah, I love Ja.
No.
He follows me. He doesn't follow you. So.
Wow.
So
I don't think he follows me.
I don't know who follows. I'm about to look and see.
Yeah. Do some research.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't know who followed you, though.
I just happened to, because it pops up on your, some.
I don't do all that.
I
respond to people. They like it by engagement.
Like if you look at the, I see
you
what
can see who you're.
They look at it by engagement.
I'm still waiting for you to follow me.
I'm engaged.
Well,
one day.
Keep waiting.
One day I'm going to get there.
I don't follow anybody.
I'm the engagement king.
Yeah. Are you? I don't think that's true.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Check my IG.
You need to find a hobby.
You're on there a lot. 8.5 billion mentions. Is that a lot? Is 8.5 billion? How many people in the world?
Yeah.
Well,
how many people in the world?
You're getting close. Either way, you guys, always a competition around
Twitter
here.
Engagement sometimes.
Yeah, your numbers are definitely in a league of their own. I won't even bring up who's following me. But either way, we're always competing.
Did you know they ran a tweet? One of my tweets in the Jumbotron on the Monday night game.
No way.
About what I said about Joe Burrow.
Really?
They read it on the big screen. Oh, little guy, how up there to Bel Air, mind of all business. Yeah! They blowing my phone up there. What's going on? Say, man, they running your tweets across the board. I said, really?
Shannon, you've officially made it.
Wait, were they laughing at you?
No.
Sharing the love? Good to know.
No mercy.
When discussing the all-time great receivers in the NFL, Terrell Owens wanted to make it clear that he should be at the top of the list. T.O. said he was one of the best athletes to ever play the game, and when discussing the best to ever play the game, you should start with Jerry Rice himself and Randy Moss, and then go from there. So, Shannon, do you agree with T.O.?
He's 1,000% correct. and I made it abundantly clear. I love the top three guys, and I believe the top three guys is Jerry Rice. Jerry's by himself. And then you know, people like, well, okay, T.O., Randy. I got T.O. in front of Randy, Skip, and I thought Randy had an unbelievable career. I happened to be in the league with a lot of these when these guys were in the league. And so I got an opportunity to see them up close and follow their careers once I left the game. But Randy is the second greatest receiver. T.O. is the second greatest receiver to ever play. Nobody ran with more rage. Nobody played harder on the field than Terrell Owens. Skip, how do you get past? A man tells you, I play hard when I want to. How do you get past that? And Skip, I think once Randy went to New England, it cleaned his image up a lot. Mm-hmm. Because remember, he laid it down on the Raiders. Mm-hmm. He laid it down. They traded him for, if I'm not mistaken, a third rounder to New England. 2009, Skip, he had 13 touchdowns, over 1,200 yards. 4 games into the 2010 season, Skip, can you tell the people at home what happened? They traded him.
Tom Brady happened.
No, yeah. What happened? No, he got there in 2007. When they traded him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking when he got to New England.
No. In 2009, he had 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. Yep. 4 games into the 2010 season, they traded him back to Minnesota. Mm-hmm. 4 games, a month, they released him.
Yep.
You see, this notion that T.O., a lot of that has to do with Skip Bayless because he nicknamed the man Team Obliterator. But Randy mooned the fans at Green Bay. Everybody forgot about that. All we showed was T.O. doing Sharpies, T.O. dancing on the side with the cheerleaders, T.O. opened his arms on the star in Dallas. But did everybody forget that Randy had some of these same issues?
He did.
That Randy did not play hard all the time, and he said that.
Randy had some off-field issues that Terrell never had.
But that got wiped away. Somehow that got wiped away. That didn't diminish what Randy did on the field because he was unbelievable. But it shouldn't diminish what T.O. did on the field. And I'm afraid that when it came down to voting for this top 100, Skip, they said they used the same guidelines and bylaws as the Hall of Fame. Well, if that's the case, what did the Hall of Fame change when T.O. became available? You can now factor in sidelines and the locker room. For the first time, now it made it abundantly clear for years and years and years, you are not to consider what transpired off the field. But the moment this man came up, now you get an opportunity to consider that. This is a joke. It's a joke. T.O. went to Buffalo. Lee Evans was the man. He beat him. T.O. went to Cincinnati. Chad Johnson was the man. He had more catches, more yards. Would have got another 1,000 yards. Would have had another double-digit touchdown season. But he tore his ACL, I think, week 13 or week 14. Skip, this is a joke. It's a joke for him not to be on the all-100 team. Skip, okay, if you don't like him, you don't like him. Okay. Everybody's not everybody's cup of tea. But Skip, you can't deny the man's numbers. You can't deny that man's production. And all those coaches and all those media members and all those front office people that sat there and looked at this man's career and watched him on tape to say he's not one of the top 10 receivers to ever play the game is just totally ridiculous.
Okay. I'll buy that premise that Terrell belonged in the top 10. There are 10 that they picked.
Yes.
And yet they tried to honor every era, so there are going to be players that were even before me.
But Skip, I thought we were doing it in the top 100.
Okay,
so
I got it.
You played in the 40s?
Trying to honor, like, I don't know if you remember, Crazy Legs Hurts.
I do remember. I don't remember, but I remember that. Yeah.
It's before my time, right. But again, I've seen the grainy video, and he was something for his day.
Don Hudson.
Okay, Don Hudson, Don Maynard. I don't know.
Raymond Berry.
Raymond Berry, that's a good one. Or Steve Largent, who I love, but is he better than Terrell? Not in a, you hate me to use the word vacuum, but not in a vacuum. He's not.
Not in the vacuum, not in the hallway, not on the football field, not anywhere.
Okay, I got it. What sticks in my craw is that Michael Irvin isn't in the top 10 either. And he, to me, I'm going to get to my case in just a moment, but to me, I can make a case that he was even more valuable than Jerry Rice was. And you know how I feel about Michael Irvin as the driving force of teams that should have won 5 straight Super Bowls, but did win 3 out of 4.
Right.
But the point is, Michael Irvin is suffering for the same reason and then some that Terrell is suffering on misbehavior, because Michael was often out of control off the football field.
Right.
We know all about that.
Right.
Michael did get in the Hall of Fame despite all of the above. Mm-hmm. So when I'm trying to evaluate this, I don't care about team obliteration anymore. I'm just talking about how great were you?
Yes.
And what then sticks in my craw even deeper is your contention that he was better than Randy Moss. Mm-hmm. I give you this. There were times Randy just said, I'm out. But when Randy said, I'm in, he was way more in than Terrell ever thought about being, because he is on a whole nother plane above Terrell Owens. I'm going to tell you the knocks. Now, if we're just doing pure football, this is not team obliteration. This is not tearing apart a locker room, whatever. I don't care about that.
Right.
I care about production.
Yes.
And if you look at it, Terrell led the league in drops once,
right,
and he was top 4 7 times. And I covered him in San Francisco, and trust me on this, he dropped a lot of big passes. The classic game was the big showdown with the Rams in 2001, as the Rams were on their way to the Super Bowl where they were beaten by Belichick and Brady. And I put it in the order that you like. Belichick and Brady beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. But they had a big showdown at Candlestick Park, and Terrell dropped 4 passes that day that were just crucial, big game-changing passes that he dropped. And look it up, because I was there in the locker room. He sat staring into his locker for 45 straight minutes and would not talk to the media, which was fine with me. But the point was, he was devastated by that. And when the pressure was on, Terrell could be mentally weak. He could come apart. He could crumble psychologically under the biggest game pressure. And I'll never forget that one game, which I attended and covered. It was in Jenny's hometown of Minneapolis, and it was September 28th of 2003.
Yeah.
And it was billed as Terrell Owens versus Randy Moss.
Even though they weren't going to be on the field at the same time.
They're not, but it was star-studded.
Yes.
These are the two,
Yeah.
you know, 1-2-2-1, 1-2.
Yes.
Who's going to take charge?
Yeah.
Randy Moss just took the day over, and it was spectacular. I was left with jaw dropped at the end of that one.
Right.
So he got thrown 10 balls by Gus Frerotte, who's not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
10 balls, he caught 8 for 172 and 3 touchdowns. Jeff Garcia, with a little help from Tim Rattay, threw 12 balls to Terrell Owens, who caught 5 for 55 and no touchdowns.
Right.
Terrell Owens wound up at the end of the game ranting and raving, marching up and down in front of the coordinator, Greg Knapp, who was sitting weirdly on the bench, right?
Yes,
okay.
I
And
remember.
It's like classic footage of Terrell's just out of his mind.
Pacing back and forth.
Pacing and pacing and pacing. Then he mounted his soapbox literally in the post-game locker room and campaigned for Jeff Garcia, who had made 3 straight Pro Bowls, to be replaced by the backup Tim Rattay.
Right.
And it was ugly, and it just showed me when it's time to rise and really shine, this guy, Randy Moss, can rise and shine as he did all through 2007 for Tom Brady.
I tweeted this once before. Skip, guys that are big play receivers that look to get their hands on the ball and take off, they drop a lot of passes. If you look at Travis Kelce, look at his drop rate compared to other tight ends, because he's always looking to get the big play.
Okay.
So T.O. is going to give you a lot of drops, but he's always looking to get the big play. Julio is high up there on drops because he's looking to get big plays out of that production.
I just don't remember Randy dropping a lot of key passes. I just don't. When you threw it in his catch vicinity, he's just going to catch it easily.
It's always been like this. No matter what, look at the quarterbacks. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning was never going to be on the field at the same time.
No.
But it's always Brady versus Manning. And so anytime you get 2 great players, even if they play the opposite position, that's what you're going to get. Reggie and the Eagles faced the Giants, it was Reggie versus LT. Well, neither one was going to block the other guy, but you just wanted to see who's going to dominate the game.
Correct.
A lot of that, when the receivers skip, it comes down to, okay, Randy had the better day. And it can be frustrating. I remember when I was playing tight ends, the Ben Coases or the Tony Gonzalez, who was in my division. I go to Romo. You better not let that guy show me up.
Romanowski.
Bill Romanowski.
Yeah.
Don't you let that man show me up. I'm not on the field.
Yep.
But I'm looking to do my thing. And T.O. is frustrated like, man, y'all letting that guy show me up. Y'all can't stop him doubling or something. And here I am out here struggling. They doubling me. But y'all won't double him because why? Skip, look, T.O. is never going to be anybody's cup of tea. He's emotional. There's some things that happened to him in his life that he hasn't gotten past. But, Skip, that man's production.
It was sensational. I give you that.
Skip,
I got it.
There's no way.
I'm with you. He belongs on this list.
Yes.
Which brings me to Michael Irvin. You have I covered him all those years. He was the playmaker nickname for a reason.
Yes.
And if I just compare his numbers through his career years, 91 through 98, versus Jerry Rice's, like this is what I'm big on. Receptions for first downs. Michael had 531 to Jerry's 467, head-to-head over those years.
Right.
Just fourth quarter receiving yards. 1,030 for Michael Irvin, 868 for Jerry Rice. It's just he was Troy's guy. Like when in doubt, 8 threw it to 88. That's just what it just kept happening.
Right.
And remember, this was a run-based, Emmitt Smith-driven offense. They ran the football. So you can't do Michael's big picture yards versus Jerry's because he played in the West Coast.
And the thing, but Skip, if you look at everywhere T.O. went, even if they had a number one receiver there, he took it over. Remember, they let Jerry go because T.O. production came so great, they couldn't keep him. He went to Buffalo. Lee Evans was the number one.
By the way, I'll never forget another game I covered at the Chicago Bears.
It
was Jerry Rice Day at Candlestick Park, and because the Bears went in with the game plan, we're going to triple team him. He is not going to show us up. And what Terrell
T.O. caught 20 balls.
20 balls.
It was a record at the time. Brandon Marshall, the receiver, has since broken it 21 against Indy.
Okay, but also, Terrell was blessed. He can't sort of appreciate this, but think about where he got to play. He got to play in Mariucci's West Coast offense with Jeff Garcia. He made 3 Pro Bowls.
Well, he started with Steve Young.
Okay, started with Steve Young. But, I mean, listen, you want to talk about prolific? Look at what Jeff Garcia to Terrell did. And Terrell was half the bargain, like he was half the...
And then he went to Andy Reid for a year. That first year in Philly, Skip.
Andy Reid. You see what Andy's doing with Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
And then he got to go to Tony Romo right in the heart of his prime. They were pass crazy in those years.
Right.
And they're all making Pro Bowls. Donovan made 6 Pro Bowls. Tony made 4. Jeff made 3. So he's getting to play with big-time quarterbacks.
And when they left, when T.O. left them, how many Pro Bowls they go to once T.O. left?
Well, I don't know.
Not many. T.O. kept going to Pro Bowl. Didn't matter where he went. Pro Bowls followed. You notice that, Jenny? Now, he's such a team obliterator. He left 49ers back in the NFC Championship game, went to 1 Super Bowl since T.O. left. Okay, Dallas Cowboys. Since T.O. gone, how many Super Bowls they went to?
Well, then, how do you explain that the Philadelphia Eagles won 2 playoff games without him, and then they got to the Super Bowl and played the Patriots?
On a broken leg. And he was the best player on the field.
He forces himself back into the mix, and he catches, 9 balls for 50 yards?
No, he caught a ball, buck 22.
Okay. And it was like the quietest buck 22.
No, it wasn't. Skip,
it was.
Skip,
no touchdowns, no big catches. Belichick just said, let him catch those balls. He can't run.
Yes, he could.
He can't run.
Skip, don't do that. Now, here's the thing. When players don't play, you got to get out there and play. Now, not only did he play with a broken leg, because if he had gone out there with a broken ankle, I said leg, broken ankle.
Okay.
Had screws in his ankle, Jenny.
Fair.
Normally, when a guy gets out there, nobody cares that you had surgery, that you got a broken ankle or what you had to do. I just see 81 and see Owens on the back, and he was giving it to him in Jacksonville. Yeah.
Giving it to him. I was there, and I don't remember giving it to him.
9 for a buck 22 with a broken ankle.
Yeah, and finally Donovan got back in the game with a home run to the other little receiver. Remember that? It wasn't the T.O.
Greg Jones?
Greg somebody, Because
he ended up going, I think the guy ended up going to Minnesota.
Yep.
But Skip, look, you go back, like, number one is etched in stone, is Jerry. The debate comes in, who's 2? T.O. or Randy. Okay, we can debate that. I believe it's T.O. For me, my money is T.O. I'm not going to, say, man, I'm not going to speak to you because you said Randy Moss is better than T.O. because Randy was phenomenal. I mean, the greatest deep threat that ever played. They coined it now, you got Moss, because he's leaping over everybody catching the ball, Skip, because we've never seen anybody, and what makes you upset? Just imagine if he played hard all the time.
I agree with that. But when he was righter than Terrell ever was.
Every memory I have as a kid, I'm a little biased. They involve watching Randy Moss. Given some of those ups and downs, still, I mean, who he was for the Vikings. I mean, that's my memory as a kid. No mercy. So much of the talk this year was about the receivers that Tom Brady did not have obviously, it ended for the Patriots a little early, and now Tom Brady may be on the move, but not to another team. Brady has reportedly moved his family from the Boston area to Greenwich, Connecticut. The location change would put Brady closer to MetLife Stadium, where the Giants and Jets play, or even Lincoln Financial in Philadelphia. Also, guys, the suite that Brady's family would watch games from at Gillette Stadium was also deep cleaned like it had never been before. I love the reporting there. Like, how'd you get the inside scoop on
like it's
the
never
cleaning?
Been before.
Like it's never spotless.
Yes.
Spotless. Shannon, what does this tell you?
They'll tell me nothing. Now, Skip, if they told me he had bought a place in Indy or they bought a place in Costa Mesa, now we talking, Skip Bayless, because you know Costa Mesa is close to where the Chargers. And if Indy, we already know. So if Greenwich, do you know Greenwich is the wealthiest city in Connecticut?
Yes.
It's the 12th richest city.
It's just a suburb of New York City.
Yeah, it's the 12th richest city in the U.S. A lot of hedge funds, a lot of people that got millions and billions of dollars, they live in Greenwich. Guess what Tom Brady got? He and his wife got a lot of money. So it's not like he's like, what the hell Tom Brady doing living in Greenwich? Now, if I showed up in Greenwich, they're like, what the hell you doing here?
Oh, I
That's
think
not
you fit
true.
it. You fit right
You live in
Shannon.
Bel Air.
Bel Air, Greenwich.
Yeah, Greenwich. I mean, there's something about Greenwich.
They're important.
Listen, Greenwich is the Bel Air of New York City.
It is. But Skip, it's a lot of high-end, wealthy people. Tom Brady's gonna fit in. This doesn't tell me anything. It's not like he's gonna be let's just say, for the sake of argument, Skip, he went back to New England. You think that Tom Brady's gonna commute 180 miles every single day? No, he's not. So this doesn't mean anything. And deep clean. Somebody put that little character there. They deep clean this Skip like it's never been cleaned before. Like, well, he's coming back next year, so he don't care if we clean it thorough or not.
They clean it every season.
Thank you. Look, Skip, athletes live in a lot of different locations. A lot of athletes, live in Atlanta, but they don't play in it for the Falcons or so forth and so on. So a lot of athletes live in L.A., live in Houston. They live all over it during the off season, and then they have a place in the location or where their professional team is located. So this doesn't mean anything to me, and so it's just a whole bunch of nothing. It doesn't mean anything to me that Tom Brady he has the means to have multiple locations. He got he's selling his house in Brookline. I think he still has that big apartment, I think, in Chelsea or Soho, next to De Niro and Beyonce and them over in that area, Skip.
Okay.
So when you have these kind of means, you have multiple locations. Your old Penny and Shannon, that's what they call me, old Penny and Shannon. I just got one location.
You mentioned a guest house earlier.
Jenny.
Sorry.
People might have forgot that, Jenny.
And yesterday you mentioned a staff.
Yeah.
You got a staff.
No, they don't,
Must be nice.
Blanca and her sister, they do a great job.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Blanca.
Fancy living.
So, I'm not sure what to make of Greenwich because they bought this house back during the football season. So I don't know if Giselle wants to be closer to New York City, where she does a lot of her business, obviously.
Right.
But it is a big deal when you have kids of those ages, and the two that they have together are 10 and 7.
Right.
You got to uproot them from school, and I assume they did it after the first part of the year.
That's what I'm curious about, too.
You had to uproot and start them over in Greenwich, unless they were in private schools somewhere where they were going away to school, but they seem too young to be doing, boarding school.
Right.
Or homeschooling? I don't think so. I've never heard about that.
I don't know. So I don't know what to read.
And Greenwich got some great schools. I'm sure Greenwich got some great private schools.
Well, like the best public schools.
No doubt.
Too.
And then you have to do 2 + 2 = what? And if, let's just do the hypothetical, if he's going to wind up with the LA Chargers, why would you move and put them in school now in new schools when you might need to move them for next fall to Los Angeles or to Costa Mesa, as you say, right? That doesn't make sense to me. Now, cleaning out the suite does make some sense to me because they said it was cleaned out as in the way you would clean your locker out if you are leaving the football team. If you're retiring or you just got dealt or something, you got cut, then you clean it out. You sort of, quote unquote, steam clean your locker. You take every last memento out of your locker. Well, she was treating this suite like her home away from home. And it's all gone. Everything that she possessed. Yeah, everything's gone. So would that be somewhat significant? Maybe.
Maybe she want a bigger suite. Want to sit closer to Mr. Kraft.
That's highly possible.
Possibly.
Maybe she wants his suite as part of their new deal.
Yeah,
right?
whatever.
And talk about a sweet deal, right? Okay, so now we have yet clue number 3, because yesterday Tom Brady posted a video. It's a video.
Yeah.
It's a commercial for Under Armour on his IG. And if we could see this, there's a big hint that he dropped in this little video.
Over 20 seasons, I've learned that winning never gets easier. There's no secret recipe. Just put in the work. The only way is through.
Okay, so the new Under Armour promotional tagline is the only way is through. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's no easy way. You got to go right through it, right?
You're out of storm. Got to go through it.
He posts that commercial wearing a Patriots helmet. Aha. So is that a hint? And remember, Brady on all social media has become something of a prankster, a jokester.
Right.
You consider a lot of it lame and corny, and it is. But he can try to be sort of between the lines funny. He can drop little hints. He dropped one to Julian Edelman. He added him yesterday, and he was.
How Julian take calls?
Oh.
Julian had a little problem that weekend.
Yeah,
well, that's what he did.
Fun.
He took a little shot. It was like a playful shot at Julian because it was the TB12 electrolytes that he was promoting.
Oh, that's funny.
And he said, it sounds like you need some of this, Julian, you know, like to recover from your
weekend
hangover.
Good
right?
times in Beverly Hills.
Yes, good times in Beverly Hills is correct. So, again, he knows exactly what he's doing. He still had on a Patriots helmet, and it's a brand new commercial.
That's old.
Right? Well,
that's some old footage, him probably in the backyard, Skip, when he was doing TB12, him practicing, getting ready for the upcoming season. I think that's old footage. I don't think Tom Brady, they just shot that commercial. Tom Brady is in no mood to put on football equipment after the way his season went and the way it ended. I can guarantee you that's old footage.
I don't know. Is he just messing with us, with our minds? You don't think so?
Yeah, I think I'm moving to Greenwich, too. I'm going to be a neighbor.
Really? You can have
commute?
Like a weekend place?
Yeah. I'll be able to do. I'll have to do Fridays from there because I got to leave Thursday to get back.
Huh. That sounds
Check
like
in with
somebody
Tom.
else I know, but I'll leave that alone.
Football season's over.
You noticed that too.
It's not like I was just going to hang out.
Thursday, every Thursday I see you guys Monday.
Yeah, I was going to work. I wasn't going on vacation.
What you think I'll be doing? What you think I'll be doing on Fridays?
I don't know what you've been doing on the weekends.
I wasn't referring to Jenny.
You weren't? Oh, thank you. It felt like you weren't, but I'm just going to move on from here.
So, bottom line, gut feeling, reading these tea leaves, and they just keep falling from everywhere. The leaves are falling. Your gut feeling is he will be where next football season?
I don't see him in New England, Skip. I really don't.
I don't either.
I don't.
I am with you. I think the case is closed, and I do believe the bridge is burned between him and Bill Belichick. And he wants a fresh start at age 43 somewhere else for 2 more years. And I think Bill Belichick deserves and has earned a fresh start.
I just think Tom, at some point in time, Skip, Tom's like, I done kissed this man butt for 20 years.
That's correct.
At some point in time, I ain't trying to kiss it no more.
That is correct. I'm
completely
with you.
You need to reciprocate the favor, and I don't see that happening.
No, I don't either.
So you know what? Let's just go on our separate ways. Hey, we'll get back together in 5 years when we have these reunions for the Super Bowl. Because they connected, Skip. They're going to come back. I don't know if, I'm sure they will, but they'll come back for the reunions. They got a bunch of reunions to come back to every 5 years. So they're going to come back every year because they won like 3 and 4 years. So like every other year, they'll be having reunions for Super Bowls. But I just feel like Tom is like, I'm done, man. There's only so much that you can take, Skip. I don't care how humble you are and how much, just turn the other cheek. There's only so many times a man can slap you or throw things in your face before you say, you know what? I got to deal with this.
I'm done.
A long time.
Because that word, the only way is through. Well, through has different meanings. It can mean I'm through, right? I think he's through as in over.
Yeah, I'm going to walk through another door.
Yeah.
I'm going to close this one and walk through another one.
Yep.
Okay, we'll have to see. If that's the indication, though, the move to Greenwich, it's fascinating.
Well,
that's how we're getting our information about Tom Brady?
Nantucket. You got a place in Nantucket. Tell us about that place you and Matt bought in Nantucket.
I wish I could get a
Really?
place in
Yeah, they got a place in Nantucket.
Well, I went to school in Boston. I went to BU, so I had a few Greenwich, Nantucket friends. I tried to fit in. It didn't work.
By the way,
to fit in.
reportedly the house in Greenwich was only $9 million, and they put their one in Brookline, the suburb of Boston, up for sale for $40 to start with.
Yeah, but they dropped it like
35. 35, I think
33
it's
now.
33?
Yeah.
Well, at some
Are
point,
they downsizing?
what's the difference?
I don't know what they're doing.
I'm going to go to Greenwich and do some research on the situation, just to see what everything's happening.
No mercy.
Ahead of the Warriors-Mavericks game last night, Steve Kerr had high praise for Luka Dončić. Kerr referred to Luka as a, quote, cornerstone of the NBA and said that Luka's ability to see the floor reminds him of the great Larry Bird. Kerr also compared his step back to James Harden. So, Shannon, are these valid comparisons?
They are. If I'm not mistaken, I could have swore there was a guy sitting across from Skip Bayless about a month ago. About 6 weeks ago, actually. They said something very similar to this. You remember that guy, Skip?
I do. That's why I want to do this topic today.
You were upset then. You probably even more upset now.
You got that right.
Skip, look, I'm not saying he's Larry Bird because I don't think Larry Bird is my favorite player. You ask my sister, my brother.
I can't get it through my head. How can you do this? He's your favorite player?
Favorite player. I had Bird T-shirts, Bird posters. I had the one him sitting in the bird's nest. I had those shoes. Larry Bird, so I know 24, 10, and 6. Okay. That's his career average. Skip, when you look at him, and what you got to understand about Luka, because Luka can score the ball like Larry, he doesn't rebound, but he can play make. Larry was really the first, big forward that they ran the offense through. Most of the time, they ran the offense through the point guard. Now, DJ was on the team that had Tiny Archibald 1 year, but Larry Bird, his 6 assists tells you that he could facilitate and could distribute the basketball.
True.
Luka's ability to score, he's so skilled. The entire offense runs through him. But what people don't realize, Skip, Larry didn't get to the NBA until he was 22. Luka's 20. Luka's 20 years old right now. He got to the NBA at 19. So, and he's averaging.
He did get to play professional basketball in Europe at a high level. Go ahead.
He was playing with grown men at like 15, 16 years of age. But Luka right now is averaging 29, 10, and 9, basically. Let that sink in. He's third, Skip, he's third in PER. He's number 1 in usage. And you see, Skip, Draymond Green is a very good defender. Draymond Green has been Defensive Player of the Year. And he was toying with Draymond, had him on a string. Luka, he's legit. Skip, I told you, he's the real deal. And he's the closest thing because we had never seen anything like Bird. We had never seen a guy that Jerry West could score like Larry, could assist the ball, but he was a guard. We'd never seen anything like Larry because we'd never seen anybody that could do what he could do. The last guy to win 3 straight MVPs. There have only been a handful of 3 straight MVPs. I think Russell, Chamberlain, and Bird was the last one. And Bird was doing this when Magic was in the league, when Jordan was in the league. Jordan was in the league, and old lad got them 3 things in a row. He did that, Skip. But I think the thing is just hard, Skip, because we've never seen a guy since Larry, a white guy. Because, Skip, you know, we only compare white guys to white guys, black guys to black guys. We ain't never seen a white guy say, oh, he look like Jordan. And they never said even LeBron. LeBron has a lot of Bird in him, but we compare him to who? Magic.
That's true. I'll buy that.
So, but Skip, for me, Luka, and and I think Steve Kerr said that step back. James Harden, I've never seen anything like this step back, but James Harden is on another level. Okay. But he's added that to his game, his ability to handle the ball, his ability to facilitate and to score. Yeah, Skip, he's the closest thing to Bird. He's the closest thing to Bird that we've seen since Larry Bird.
This is blasphemy. This is heresy. This is, please, God, don't strike us with lightning talk. Because I'm afraid we're going to get struck. I'm looking up right now because I'm waiting for lightning to come through this roof.
Don't jinx it.
This is Larry Bird we're talking about.
Larry Joe Bird.
Larry Joe Bird. It's like, is this fair or foul? Well, in this case, it's foul as in F-O-W-L, as in bird foul, right? It's way foul. It nauseates me to even think we're talking about this because I've been watching this kid, and the only point I give you is he's 20 years of age.
20.
But every time I turn on my TV, he's this and he's that. He's special. I keep hearing how special he is.
He's special, Skip.
No, he's not special.
Yes, he is.
I'm sorry. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing superstar from Luka Dončić. Not yet. And again, I'm watching him a lot, and I'm watching these numbers a lot. And every fourth quarter I watch him in, he comes apart either physically or mentally. because in the fourth quarters, the book on Luka already is
rough him up.
Just beat him up. The Lakers have been just beating the snot out of him.
Yep.
And it's foul, and it's F-O-U-L foul, but it's just the way of it's the law of this jungle. It's going to be how it's going to be.
Right.
You're going to get beat up until you fight back and show them it doesn't bother me a bit.
Right.
Larry Bird was the baddest, you know what, and if you want to put it in the white guy category, put it in there. But he was the baddest white guy who ever walked on a basketball court.
He was.
He was a cold-blooded killer. He was as much a cold-blooded assassin as anyone this side of MJ because he scared people. He talked a lot of you-know-what, and he backed it up. A lot of people believe he was the greatest trash talker ever. He did it kind of under his breath a little bit. He'd lean over and tell you.
That's why Dr. J fought him. He said, "Come here, Holmes. Catch this one. Walk up." And then Doctor's like, "Oh, you talking to me like this here?"
Okay, so let's put this in perspective. Right now, Luka is 4th in this league in scoring. That's pretty great. He's 3rd in PER, player efficiency rate. That's pretty great.
Yes.
He's 3rd in assists. That's really good when you add all that up. He's tied for 47th in fourth quarter shot attempts. He's tied for 38th in fourth quarter points scored. That's not very good because come fourth quarter, when it's time to go Larry Bird, he can't go Larry Bird.
Skip, that tells me one or two things. Maybe he's shying away, but I believe they're taking the ball out of his hands. They say, you know what? We know what you can do, Luka. Okay, Powell. Okay, Hardaway Jr. Okay, other guys. We're going to make Seth Curry. We're going to make these other guys beat us, Skip. I'm not going to let Luka beat me.
Okay, but I've seen games where LeBron, you can try to take it out of his hands. You can't get it out of his hands. He's too big and too strong and too physical, and he'll just say, "Get out of my way, I'm coming."
Well, Luka's going to have to get a little tougher. He's going to have to get a little stronger. Skip. He's still got a little, he still got a little 20. But wait till he gets about 20.
He actually looks like he's not in that great a shape to me. He does. No, I'm serious.
He ain't got no definition now.
He's getting a little pudgy. I don't know.
He ain't got no definition.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And then I got to say this before I go deeper in the stats. Here's one thing you cannot do in this league, and so far he's getting away with it because he's the next hot guy. You know, he's the it kid. But against my Spurs, it was back on December 26th. He blows off a pick. Porzingis picked Derek White, and so he's got just a free run to the basket. And Seth Curry, not Steph, obviously, Seth Curry goes sweet behind the back, bounce pass to him. And as he goes up, if we could see it right now, as he goes up to dunk, he's laughing. He started laughing while he got the ball because he thought it was such a great pass, and he's laughing. And he laughed all the way down the court. Larry Bird never laughed before he made a shot at the rim, like a bunny shot.
Yeah.
He didn't laugh because you don't laugh. Because somebody's going to get even with you for laughing.
Skip, all that time last night, you know Larry done going to them three-point shootout competition and asked which one of you know what's finishing second.
Yeah, and you know what that word
is. Exactly. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't get fired on, Skip.
Well, today he would not get away with that. Exactly. I would hope not.
Yeah.
But,
hell no. Yeah. And then he shoot the Skip. You remember he shot the last the three-point ball and then held it up there like this here before it switched the net.
Okay, but that's a three-point shootout, and he was already Larry Bird, Larry effing Bird, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he was Larry Bird coming in. I mean, he won Rookie of the Year with 33 votes over Magic, who got 3, who led the team to the Skip. I'm not saying he's Larry.
Okay, let me sum this up for you. Right now, Luka, Mr. Step Back. He's shooting 32% from the three-point line. That's 138th of the 148 qualified three-point shooters.
That ain't good.
It's just not good. And he misses a lot in the fourth quarter when I think the game's on the line. Like, you got to make that one. You know, it's wide open. He can create space because he's 6'7".
Right.
Free throws, he's making 78%, which is better than LeBron, but that ranks 70th of 114 qualified free throw shooters. Right. Larry Bird led the league in free throw shooting 4 times, and in his career, 5 times he was over 90%.
Oh, yeah.
Don't give me Larry Bird.
No.
And look,
close, Skip.
okay, I know Steve Kerr, he got full of himself because he got to coach some of the greatest teams we've ever seen. That team right now is 9-33. And on some nights, I think Steve Kerr gets a little full of himself and tries to remind everybody he used to be the sage, the oracle we all went to. Give us the historical perspective because you played with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And now he's still trying to give us historical perspective for the 9-33 Golden State Warriors. And I think he's laying it on a little thick.
He did play with two, where you have Tim Duncan. I mean, he played alongside Duncan.
No, okay, I got that.
He went with Joe.
Okay.
But Skip, he was up close. He did see Larry now. Skip, now look, I'm not saying the kid is Larry because Larry was, like I said, he busted a lot of people up. I think the Eastern Conference Finals against Dominique, when he and Dominique was going back and forth, Skip, that was one of the great.
I saw it. It was just all-time.
That was in the old Omni.
It was.
He's special, but this kid, Skip, to be 20 years old and to be able to do what he's doing, I mean, there are not very many kids that they turn the keys over to you this early and says, okay, it's yours. Go do. Sink or swim. And that's what they did with this kid.
You want to know the truth? I'm actually trying to take a little pressure off him because he doesn't need this on his shoulders yet.
That's a big comparison.
Come on. Really?
Hey, you got to own it.
When you have that kind of pressure that's a big name to
To a
live
legend,
up to.
Larry Legend.
It's a big name to live up to. Either way, you're not sold yet.
Not
See
yet.
if we can get there.
By the end of the year, you'll be sold.
Can get there.
No mercy.
Get this, Aaron Rodgers has thrown nearly 4.5 touchdowns for every interception in his career, which is the best all-time by a wide margin, and he's only thrown 6 picks in the last 2 seasons combined.
What?
Rodgers,
6? That's not possible.
Wait. His lack of mistakes is something that amazes the league's all-time leader in interceptions and former Packers great Brett Favre. While doing a joint interview with Rodgers, Favre told Rodgers, quote, "How little you turn the ball over to me is just baffling." Baffling.
What?
I like that word.
Is that more that Brett Favre talked to Aaron Rodgers in the first 4 years in Green Bay?
Yeah.
Probably.
Remember
I don't
Skip?
get this new friendship.
They had
Grown
none.
man, yeah.
So
Right? They had
supportive.
none.
Yeah, that is true. That dynamic was
That's
always
weird.
really interesting. We are happy to have Fox Sports contributor Rob Parker with us this morning. I enjoy having him around. Rob, what do
Wouldn't
you
say
expect?
happy.
After all these years, Skip, you
No
want to
one's
divorce
happy.
me?
I like when you hear Rob.
Thank you.
You bring a lot of energy to this table. What do you expect from Rodgers Sunday?
I expect Aaron Rodgers to continue doing what he's done all year, which is just enough to get his team to a victory.
That sounds like a game man.
No, it's not a game manager. Things have changed a little bit. And coming into this playoffs, I said, Chris Broussard and I had this big argument on the radio. I said he had the least pressure of the quarterbacks, only from the standpoint that normally, and Shannon, you know this, when he goes into the playoffs in years gone by, he knows he got to put up 35 or almost 40 points to win.
Correct.
That was not going to be the case this year. This is by far, in his time that I've seen him, the most balanced team. Aaron Jones with the running back who could also score in the red zone. You got the Smiths, right? The defensive guys that they brought in, those guys have been nothing but spectacular.
They have.
And they've had a lot of takeaways. They have a good defense, not the greatest defense, but a good defense. In Aaron Rodgers' 4 of his 7 playoff losses, the defense gave up 44, 45, 51, 37. This is the stress he used to be under, that he needed to be able to score all these points. This year, which was the most impressive thing, the 3 games where he did not throw a touchdown, the Packers were 3-0. Prior to this year, they were 4-10 in games where he didn't throw a touchdown. So this is what I'm saying is that not that he has to be a game manager, but he doesn't have to go out and throw for 400 yards and score 40 points. It's not that kind of team. And what he did last week with the 9 for 13 on third downs, Shannon, you saw it, beautiful throws, right on the money, Skip. You could say throwing out of bounds and whatever and giving up on plays. And you know what? They didn't shy away from it in those situations where they really needed the third downs. They gave the ball to Aaron, and he got it done. I expect them to get to the Super Bowl. I have picked them before.
Really?
I really do, and I think this will be that situation where I think the 49ers are ahead of schedule and aren't ready yet. Aaron Rodgers will wind up getting it done, and Garoppolo will not.
That's a bold statement.
I expect him to play well. He was great last week when he had to be, when he needed to be, and I knew he could. Like you said, the team has kind of changed now. They can run the ball. They're not a great running team. It's just that when the games they were on national televised, Aaron Jones had monster days.
Yep.
He had a monster day at Kansas City. He had a monster day at the Cowboys. He had these monster games when the eyes are watching, and so everybody assumed, well, he's Derrick Henry. No, they're not.
No.
They don't run the ball. They didn't run the ball like the Ravens. They didn't run the ball like the 49ers or Tennessee Titans can, Skip. And this notion, he threw. Now, Skip Bayless, man, this joke happened. I had to go home and take aspirin every day after the show. He's throwing the ball away. No, he's regarded. Look here, I'm gonna tell you something. Drew Brees had 2 turnovers in the playoffs. Where'd he go, Skip? Home.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson had 3 turnovers, Skip. Where'd he go? Tom Brady had a turnover, Skip. Where did he go? Kirk Cousins, when you turn the ball over, you go home. Yeah. Now, Aaron Rodgers was the only guy that threw the ball away because he didn't want to, he didn't want a completion percentage. Tom Brady threw the ball away, ain't have nobody open. Aaron Rodgers throws the ball away. He don't want to throw it. Right. He can't get the big play, so he's not going to. Whoa, wait a minute.
You just uttered the truth.
No, I didn't. Hold on.
Right, you finally got it right.
Did you know last year in throwaways, Aaron Rodgers was 1? But did you know who the third guy that throwing the ball away? Was Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. Go juxtapose in 2019. Skip, who led the NFL in throwaways this year?
I got to wash my hands.
I don't want to get
Tom Brady.
This 24-hour flu situation.
And everybody keeps saying, man, it's really hard to beat a team twice. No, it's not. Not if you're the better team. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. But I believe the 49ers have the better team. When we were growing up, my brother beat me 1,000 times in backyard games. You know why? He was just better. And sometimes, Skip, guys are just better. It doesn't matter how many times you play them. I believe the 49ers have a better offense, a better defense, better special teams, and they're better coached than the Green Bay Packers. It wasn't that John Elway wasn't any good. He wasn't better than the teams he was playing in those Super Bowls. He wasn't as good as the 49ers. His team wasn't good as the Giants or Washington. That's why they lost. And I believe the 49ers will win on Sunday.
Well, better teams don't always win.
No, they don't.
Right?
But Balaga is going to be key. Now, he only played 9 snaps in the first time they played him, Skip. And that front four was relentless. They better give Aaron Rodgers some time. Because if they don't give him any time, they got no chance, because I don't believe they can run the ball and win this game.
So, for the first time in a long, long time, I was impressed with Rob Parker's opening answer.
What?
He went right out to the very end of the limb, and he said Aaron Rodgers is going to go win this game. And Shannon Sharpe well knows that these games, at this level, they often come down to which quarterback plays better.
Absolutely.
Because John Elway kept getting matched up in those Super Bowls with some really good quarterbacks. He had to play against Joe Montana, and there was Phil Simms in one game. I can't remember all the names.
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams.
First got to throw 4 touchdowns
exactly.
in a quarter.
In a quarter. Right.
In a playoff game.
Thank you for doing that, but that means that I do owe you a dinner. We got another dinner on this game because I got the 49ers. And you're right. In the end, it should be Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy G. Well, he can win that matchup, right? And I realize there are a whole lot of other players who contribute. But right now, you make a strong kick us because Davante Adams suddenly just caught fire. I don't know if there's anybody better right now at catching the football, getting open and catching the football than Davante. And they have reestablished their wavelength, their rapport.
And remember, he missed a few games this year when they, right?
He missed 4 games.
Right.
And they're back on the same page. And you're right, that was a big third down throw because they got matched. They got Davante in the slot matched up against a 5'9" rookie. What are you doing? I don't know what it was. I don't know what Seattle's doing in single coverage. And Aaron just dropped it right over the top.
Beautiful.
Boom.
Yeah.
And that was basically game over on that one. Then he had to hit Jimmy Graham for one more. And why they gave him 15 yards of cushion, I don't know. But they did. Sometimes it's meant to be. And this whole year has been meant to be for the Green Bay Packers. I don't know how they did it, but they went 13-3. I know that drives Aaron crazy because he says, how do we do it? We sort of smoke and mirrors. Well, they did it. And now they won their home game, and they get to go to San Francisco, and it should be a game where Aaron Rodgers should be the guy. This is why I was impressed with Aaron Rodgers this past Sunday. All year long, he has struggled to throw the ball down the field. He just doesn't throw it down the field anymore. And I'm about to get to your throwaway issue in just a moment. But on Sunday, he threw the ball down the field on throws of 10 yards or more.
Right.
He went 6 for 6 for 145 yards. That will work. That would work at San Francisco. That could win the game at San Francisco because during the year, he's not been very good. If we do Pro Football Focus, I know they go third level, but they do what's called adjusted completion percentage on deeper passes is 20-plus yards. Aaron ranked 27th in the league behind Ryan Tannehill and Andy Dalton. He just wasn't very good throwing it deep.
That's how your guy ranked behind those same guys. And Trubisky in completion percentage.
Who?
Tom Brady.
Oh, Tom Brady. Thank you for bringing up Tom Brady because why did Tom Brady throw the ball away?
Why did he?
Number one time.
You don't have anybody?
Why?
No, because he wasn't protected. Aaron Rodgers has got top 5 protection, but here's the difference between the throwaways. There are 2 breeds of throwaways, 2 different brands of throwaways. There's the Tom Brady kind where he just doesn't have time, and at the last second he says, I'm not going to take an 8-yard sack, and I'll just throw it in the ground over here.
Right.
Sort of quasi-throw it to to James White.
Right.
And it's a throwaway that adds up, but Aaron Rodgers will stand back there and he's got lots of time, and he'll look and he'll say, you know what, if I throw it over there, it's kind of a tight window, and it might or might not be caught.
Don't do that, Skip.
That's how he does it.
No, he does not.
Is he worried about getting picked off?
He does not want the stats.
No, I don't believe that.
He's the
I don't
LeBron
believe that.
James of the NFL.
No,
he
stop.
doesn't want his stats to look bad, so he says, I'm going. What's his touchdowns, interceptions?
4.5.
4.5 now.
4.5, and not even close.
What is it?
And Tom Brady's
what were they?
2-1?
What is it? What's the total?
4.5 to every
my bad.
touchdown.
And
a half for every interception in his career.
No,
he
for
had
this
6
year.
touchdowns. Oh, I think he had like 3. He like 26 and 3, 26
Okay,
and 4.
whatever it was.
26 and 4.
Okay,
And one was tipped at the goal line against.
Yeah.
Tipped.
It was tipped.
That was the worst. Do you realize he had a wide open
interception? It was tipped.
It was tipped because he throws it into double coverage because Philly blew the coverage.
Skip,
There's a wide open receiver in the corner just saying, just throw me the ball.
Can I ask you a question? Did Tom Brady have great protection last year? And he was third in throwaways. Now, you tell me the reason why he threw the ball away this year so much, he's throwing to Jacoby Myers, who was an undrafted free agent. What's the little guy?
Gunnar Olszewski.
Yeah, Gunnar Olszewski. Undrafted free agent. But guess who? Kumaro. Did you know he was undrafted? Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. What about Lazard? Aaron Rodgers is throwing to him. Skip, did you know Geronimo Allison, is an undrafted free agent? That's who Aaron Rodgers is throwing to.
That's a receiving core.
Wait, did Tom Brady have a Devontae Adams?
Julian Edelman, who was Super Bowl MVP just 6 months ago.
Super Bowl MVP without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah. And now he goes.
Wait. Julian Edelman with a busted shoulder and a bad knee and cracked ribs?
Well, how he get up on somebody's car then? If he got a busted shoulder and a bum knee, how he jump on somebody's car?
Alcohol is just...
he should have had somebody that did it before he played them games.
That first game against the 49ers, I really don't look at that game. I don't think that they came out and played at all. Like, the Packers just weren't in that game.
They just weren't there.
For me to look at that and say that they can't beat them, Shannon.
Oh, they can beat them.
You know what I mean? Like, I just, that game, I don't look at it and go, oh, they played, they have everything.
But this is why we love football so much, Skip, because it's one game. This is not a series.
Right.
Sure, on a given Sunday, anybody can be beat. I don't believe Tennessee can beat Baltimore 3 out of 5.
No, they can't.
But
they can beat them by one
I don't
game.
think they can beat them
2 out of 3. But here's the thing, though, Skip. On a given Sunday, a ball bounce here or there or turnover. But Aaron Rodgers knows this. You turn the ball over in the playoff, you pay a premium price. You pay double. And so you look at the guys that are going home, what did all of them do? They turned the ball over. From Drew Brees to Lamar Jackson to Cousins to Tom Brady. You turn it over in the playoffs, you're going home. And Aaron Rodgers says, I ain't going home just yet.
Yet the quarterback you've been raving about all this segment finished 18th in QBR this year and 21st in the NFL in completion percentage. Is that good?
Are those stats good, or is it about winning and advancing to the NFC Championship?
If you don't mind me asking who was 19th in QBR.
Who was 19?
I think I have an idea.
Skip, do you...
Kirk Cousins?
No.
It was not.
Who was 27th in completion percentage?
Who was 27, Skip? Help me out.
I don't know.
You do not.
I don't know.
You do not.
I don't know who you're talking
The guy
about.
knows everything.
He does.
He knows
now
QBR by heart.
you don't know nothing.
They went to the playoffs and lost at home. Oh,
Do we have a dinner on Sunday?
Absolutely.
I got Jimmy G. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I got Jimmy G.
Because you betted 3 dinners that they weren't going to the AFC Championship game this year.
I bet that was the big one. And I bet that before the season started that they wouldn't make it to the AFC Championship.
I got really lucky.
I got 5 cases. I bet 5 cases that the Cowboys would be 8-8.
Wow.
And you still owe me 38 cases. That's okay.
I'm going to get it back.
Some dinners. We got a lot of
Mr.
bets
C's,
around
I can't
here.
wait. I'll have 2 dinners after this Sunday.
I'm going to have to join that party. Rob, thank you for joining.
No mercy.
Aaron Rodgers admitted he thought new Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy would go somewhere where he had more general manager input. According to Stephen Jones, though, McCarthy might even have more say than he did with the Packers. Stephen said McCarthy told him, quote, looks like I'm going to have a bigger voice than I had in Green Bay in terms of how we go about building a consensus. So, Shannon, do you buy this?
No. It sounds great at the time, Skip, but you and I both know it won't last. And when Jerry says we, he means Stephen, Jerry Jr., Charlotte, and himself. The family. Sister Sledge said it best. We're family. Mm-hmm. That's the we he's talking about, Skip Bayless. That's why Jerry on his card, owner, chairman, VP, general manager. Skip, you got all those titles. And Jerry said just a couple of weeks ago, Skip, if you pay all the bills, you should have a decision. Mm-hmm. Come on, Jerry.
You did.
Skip, I don't get what Jerry's getting so upset about. This, he's like, I got labeled this, I got pegged with this. It is true, Jerry. You run everything. You said the buck stops with you. You say you consult with some people, but the buck stops with me. So the final decision is yours. Just own that. When people say I'm loud, I don't get upset when people say I'm loud. I've earned that. I've encouraged them to believe that. You and I know I'm not like that. I'm in my cell, got my candles burning. I'm meditating before Steve get there, before we get ready to do our thing. But the perception is, but Jerry, you earned this. You the one that said, even though people thought Jimmy had to say, it was me. Cole Parsons, they thought Bill had to say, but it was me. You did this, Jerry. I don't know why he doesn't want to own it now, Skip. It's okay. You know why? Because it's been unsuccessful. So had they won them, let me ask you a question, Skip. In the last 25 years, if Jerry would have won 2 or 3 Super Bowls, and people say, Jerry, it's not a we, it's Jerry makes all the decisions, you think he'd have said, oh, no, it's a we thing or it's a me thing? Because remember, that's what got Jimmy up out of there.
True.
I read that article, Skip. There were some things in the article I didn't even know. I was like, huh? Jerry, you felt some kind of way that Jimmy was getting all that shine. And when he wouldn't toast you, you got all upset within your feels. That's what they say, not Jerry, that's the thing. He was in his feels. Jerry was in his feels back in the 90s, way back when. So, no, Skip, it ain't no we. It's a Jerry. And it's the way it's been. It's the way it's always going to be. But it sounds good. Skip, I can't say on the honeymoon, this is how it's going to be. You're going to be just a certain type of way. I got to make you think it's going to be a certain way. Or you might not, we might not even make it back from the honeymoon.
Sounds deceiving.
Yeah, it's deceiving.
You should read the book I wrote about Jimmy versus Jerry, and you might be like, wow, that happened?
Yo.
Just for the record.
Okay, I want to read the book right here.
Yeah.
You got one?
You don't have time to
You got one on hand? You got one you can...
Nope. It's okay. Happened too long ago. So, I agree with your premise. The buck stops on that man, Gerald Wayne Jones Jr.'s desk.
Yes.
But occasionally, I believe he has passed that buck before. And I thought Todd Archer on ESPN.com wrote a good piece. And his premise is that no matter what you think, outsiders think, the reality of how the Cowboys have operated for years has been hard for outsiders to believe, because he points out that 1998, he had hired Chan Gailey to be his new coach, post Barry Switzer. And for whatever reason, Chan Gailey did not want Randy Moss. A lot of people did not want Randy Moss.
Well, I can understand, because Chan is very devout.
You know Chan Gailey.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
He was my position coach when I first arrived in Denver.
When he made his feelings very clear about that, Jerry said, okay, we will not draft Randy Moss. So he passed the buck on that one. 2003, Parcells had come in, and he wanted to move on from Emmitt Smith, according to Todd Archer, and I've heard these stories. And so Jerry said, okay, he's the all-time leading rusher. Let's move on. Let's go in a new direction, because you're the new coach and you need to start.
Same thing with Larry Allen.
Okay, there you go. And then at one point early on, Jason Garrett, 2011, he said, we got to build or rebuild an offensive line please take an offensive lineman first. And they took Tyron Smith, and the rest is Pro Bowl history, right? So that was Jason Garrett's idea. Then Jerry overruled and took Terrell Owens when Bill Parcells didn't want him.
Right.
And he overruled and took Greg Hardy when nobody wanted him, especially me.
You're right.
And yet that's when he big-footed them and said, nope, I'm going to do this.
I think even his daughter wanted him to pass on that one.
That is correct. I hope she did not. I'm pretty sure she did not.
Yeah.
So here comes Mike McCarthy. And the point is that I don't believe Jerry Jones ever liked Bill Parcells or vice versa.
Right.
I don't think they ever really got along socially, but it was just a point where Jerry was desperate, and he's a big guy and about as made a man as you're ever going to find. I'm going to hire him, and I'm going to sort of back off and let him go until I decide, boy, for marquee value, box office, that T.O. guy, he'd be pretty great for us, right? He's born to be a Dallas Cowboy. So the point is, from that press conference I watched 1 week ago today, Jerry hit it off with Mike McCarthy. They are going to drink a lot of beer together, and they're going to eat a lot of nachos together. And I'm not sure the nachos will be all that great for Mike McCarthy, who might ought to push away from the nachos. Right?
Skip. Well, I see big things in his future.
I know, big things. Yep, I agree. But the point is, they clicked.
They did.
And again, losing can unclick them real fast.
But Skip, you know how Jerry is.
Okay.
Everybody go click with Jerry.
No, not like that.
But not Parcells now, Skip. You know Parcells was always set in his ways. He believed he should do things a certain way. But Coach Parcells was perfectly fine up in Saratoga. Before, I mean, he got a place in Saratoga now. But when they met on that tarmac in Jersey, Coach Parcells was cool. I believe Jerry needed Coach Parcells more than Coach Parcells needed him. Because at that point in time, Skip, they were just losing and losing and losing. And like you said, the Dallas Cowboys, we got to get a big name.
Okay.
He was the biggest name available.
Okay, but here's Mike McCarthy's point when he says it's a we thing. At least it's a little tiny bit of we, because Mike McCarthy in Green Bay had zero we.
Ted Thompson.
Zero we.
True.
And Ted Thompson said it's my way or highway for all of these guys, including you, Mike, if you don't like it.
Right.
And I am not going to plunge in free agency.
Right.
What will Jerry do if the opportunity...
Oh, he'll plunge.
Oh,
yeah.
He'll plunge like nobody will plunge, right?
And that's why the first guy to go, Skip, before Mike McCarthy was who? Ted Thompson. Because Mark Murphy said,
he did.
You picked all these guys.
You did.
And they're not developing, so you got to go first.
Yep. So what did Stephen Jones say the other day? He said, I don't want to put words in Mike's mouth, but he said something like, looks like I'm going to have a bigger voice than I did in Green Bay in terms of how we go about building our roster, right? Yeah. He will. He's going to have a much bigger, because he had no voice in Green Bay.
So anything is better than nothing, huh?
Okay, so when he says it's going to be we decisions, I think a tiny bit of we, or maybe a quarter of we, or whatever, I think he'll have a little bit of the we.
Well, okay. Well, Skip, you know, when I was going to school, you know, Jenny, I knew all the answers. You know, kid, you raise your hand, you couldn't play. Yeah, I was that guy. And so sometimes the teacher wouldn't call on me because they're like, well, Shannon, we want to go around. We want everybody to participate. Well, if they don't know, call on me because I know, because I'm ready to move on. Oh. So, you know, I raised my hand, Skip. And then when they wouldn't call on me, guess what I do? I just blurt the answer out anyway.
Yeah, it's fitting, considering you do this for a living.
I know them.
But you couldn't go to Georgia because you didn't have the grades.
I was little then. I knew all the answers little. Skip, I had a great, I could remember things. Yeah. But as you got, you know, little high, Skip, look, I was so good. I ain't got time to be doing no homework. I was busy.
That explains.
Busy.
So that explains why you're so unprepared for this show every day, right?
No, but then I got in school, I was like, you know what? Going to class, because guess where the girls went? To class. All the guys that came with, a lot of the guys that came with me, they didn't want to go to class.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah! And guess who was in the front of the class? With a briefcase, with a collared shirt, starched jeans? Me.
Briefcase.
Mr. Sharpe. That's what they call me. They call me Mr. Sharpe.
Sitting next to Jenny in the front row, right?
I was not a front row gal.
I was a front row.
No.
Yeah.
I like the middle. I don't need to be in the front.
Truth be told, I was doing my girlfriend's homework. Now that we talking about it. Yeah, I was in the library in the conference room doing the work.
None of this makes sense.
It makes sense to me.
It doesn't really add up.
I don't get
but I'm glad you seem to know the answers now.
I do.
You're trying. At least you believe you do.
I'm more prepared now than I was then, because I didn't take school serious. And because I'm going to the NFL, and then, you know, I don't need to know multiplications and history. Nobody's going to ask me what day was Abraham Lincoln assassinated. Nobody's going to ask me that, but they're going to ask me how to get to the end zone, and that's what I'm going to be able to do. And I was able to do that and pick up a little information along the way.
Impressive. Well, I wasn't born with your IQ or your mental capacity.
There you go.
I just overachieved.
Just worked hard.
Yeah, I just outworked.
No. What you call
Were
it?
you in the front row? Were you a front row guy?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're a front row guy.
Try to answer all the
No
questions.
one's not turning in homework around here.
And you see what happened? I'd have been Ken Jennings on you. Every time they ask you a question in class, I'd have got you.
Really?
Yep.
No,
No,
I would
I
have
don't
been
believe
Jeopardy
that.
James on
Exactly.
you. Yes.
I feel like that would be
Ken
fun.
Jennings won. Jeopardy James, they win.
You guys, do you really meditate before the show? You said that
I
at
hate
the
to
beginning.
say this,
I don't
but
know.
do you realize you just spoiler alerted me?
Oh.
Do you know you just ruined my week? You just blew my whole week.
I thought you didn't watch it?
We have been scrupulous in not, just tune it out. We can't watch till Friday. I work on weeknights. I actually do prep for the show on weeknights. So I can't watch until Friday, and then we watch them all.
All of it?
So now you gave it away.
Okay, well, James won.
Yeah, right.
Shannon, you just ruined his week.
I thought everybody knew.
You need to apologize.
I'm sorry, Gil.
Make up for that.
The first 3 last Friday night, right?
Why you watch them in bulk like that?
Well, he's
Because
busy
I work.
preparing.
I watch games.
He's got to watch all the games.
I do work.
Man, you ain't wasn't no games. Oh, Kawhi was on last night. What happened before Kawhi came on? What you be doing?
All right, it's okay.
Mood has shifted over here, Shannon. You're going to have to make up for it.
Well, I tell you-
muddle through and just say, well, I
Maybe
guess.
See, you don't even know how to hold it. I'll be holding that pen.
Okay, we're going to move on.
No mercy.
According to Fox Bet, the Chiefs are 7-point home favorites on Sunday to beat the Titans and join us in Miami for Super Bowl 54. But earlier in the season, the Titans did beat the Chiefs 35-32 in Nashville. So, Shannon, as 7-point favorites, are the Chiefs getting too much respect or not enough?
I don't believe they're getting enough. Skip, the first time they played in Nashville, that was my homeboy's first game back from that knee injury. And in the first game back, he threw for 446 for 3 touchdowns. Chiefs scored 32 points. Now, they were lining up to kick a field goal. The snapper snapped it early. The holder gets up, throws the ball away. Now, that's 4th down, Skip. So now he gets an intentional grounding, lost it down, with 15 yards tacked on. And even after they took the lead, my homeboy takes him back down the field for another field goal attempt to tie the game up, but it gets blocked. I believe this game should be, at best case scenario, 10 points. I'm going to be surprised.
Really?
Because my homeboy feeling it.
Really?
He feeling good. Yeah. This thing about to get ugly, Skip. It's about to be Bubba Sparks up here. Yep.
Would you give me 12 right now?
No, I give you 10 right now, though.
Really?
Yep. Right now.
Well, you said it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
So 12 would
I don't
be...
because the back doors. You need those back door covers, and I lose. No. I give you 10 right now.
11.
10. 10 points, Skip Bayless.
I'll wait until Friday.
Thinking about it.
I am thinking about it. You realize, to your point, this is quite arguably, maybe not even arguably, the biggest championship game quarterback mismatch in the history of pro football. Am I right?
You may be.
Yes.
You've got the reigning MVP, your homeboy, who's now hot again, and pulled off a 24-0 comeback Sunday and was spectacular against Ryan Tannehill, who got dumped a year ago by the Miami Dolphins, who traded for Josh Rosen to replace Ryan Tannehill? Are you kidding me? And now Ryan Tannehill is the starting quarterback at Kansas City. It's not Tom Brady at Kansas City like a year ago.
Right.
It's Ryan Tannehill against my homeboy. And I got to tell you, there's a reason the spread's opened at 7.5 and got bet down a half point, which is something. It's something to monitor.
Okay.
Got bet down to just 7. It's because Tennessee, right before your very eyes, has turned into a playoff force.
Yeah, they're hot.
Derrick Henry had not been unleashed quite yet in that 35-32 game.
Yeah, Skip, that was the first game he got
But he wasn't that guy yet. I got you. He put up pretty good numbers.
188. You went for 188.
I know, but it hadn't happened yet where they said, oh, wait a second, this is how we do it. Slowly but surely, because it's been the last 3 in a row now, he's gone 180 plus, right? So they have figured out a new formula. It's not everybody's formula. In fact, it's really nobody else's formula. It's just their formula.
Right.
So you should be nervous because they have had a recent history of going in and spoiling parties. They have party pooped all over the place, right?
Yeah.
They did it in Dallas last year. They did it on opening day at Cleveland this year, 43-13. We both think ended Tom Brady's run in New England on that Saturday night, and then they turned right around and went to Baltimore.
Well, Kansas City know full well because they did it to Kansas City. Kansas City was up, 21-3. And they came back and beat Kansas City. Derrick Henry ran wild in that game. I think he had a $153 in that game. Now, Kansas City raced out to a 10-0 lead. And there was a play early in the game, Skip, that Mahomes had an opportunity to hit Kelsey, but he threw a no-look pass, and he sailed it. Would have put him up by a larger margin. You can't leave any points because the quicker you can race to a 14, 17-point lead, put the ball in Tannehill's hands as opposed to Derrick Henry's belly, the better your chances are. Now, there's a reason why they gave up those first-round picks to get Frank Clark, and he showed you on Sunday. He needs to have another coming-out party like that. Old Suggs now, Skip, they on the waiver wire, Suggs wanted to go back to Baltimore.
Good pickup.
This is an opportunity for him. He just needs to make one play. Strip sack, fumble recovery. He has that in him. I believe Suggs makes a play, and that's going to be I don't think it's going to be the difference, but I expect Mahomes to play big. I expect him to put up big numbers. I'm not going to be surprised if he has a 400-yard passing day.
How much time of possession will he have to put up those big numbers? That is the question.
He don't need it. Ask Houston Texans how much time he need. Because in 9.5 minutes, he got 28. He don't need much time.
The Tennessee Titans are the flip side of the Houston Texans. They are mentally and physically tougher than the Texans. They are much better coached than the Texans.
I'm not going to debate any of that.
They are much hotter than the Texans, doing it their way. And speaking of making plays, Ryan Tannehill doesn't make very many, and I've never been a big fan of his, but he has made 3 plays in the last 2 games that changed each of the last 2 games. If we could see 3rd and 8 at New England, it's 3rd and 8, and Tom Brady's about to get the ball back with 2.5 minutes left, and he throws it to one of the no-name tight ends because he's got 3 of them.
Heck of a
hits him.
Heck of a throw.
What a heck of a throw that was, and that basically ended the game because that throw allowed them to punt Tom Brady back to his 1-yard line with 15 seconds left, right? So then what happened on Saturday night at Baltimore? He makes an early throw to another no-name tight end, right? Jonnu Smith, right? Remember this? And it's a nice catch, but it's also a really sweet throw from Ryan Tannehill that set a tone. There we go. And then what happens next? He drops a dime on the little kid from Holy Cross. Holy cow. Look at this. That's Ryan Tannehill.
That was pretty
Those 2 throws sent Baltimore home. That just did it. Those 2 throws wrecked Lamar's run to the Super Bowl.
It basically ended a storybook Cinderella season. Ryan Tannehill has not thrown the ball very much. But think about in the few throws that he does have, he has 3 touchdowns in those throws.
So he completed 7 balls at Baltimore, 7 of 14. But I just showed you 2 of them.
2 touchdowns.
And they changed the whole flow of the game.
It wasn't like he completed a whole bunch of balls in New England, but he had that 1 touchdown to that tight end again.
He had 1 touchdown to that tight end. So the point is, if they can get a lead, then they got that big old.
But the difference is between them getting a lead in Baltimore and Kansas City. Kansas City is equipped to throw the football. You wouldn't blink an eye if you asked him to throw the ball 50 times because that's what he threw. I think he was 31 of 50 for 446 and 3 touchdowns in that game. Tyreek went wild, had 11 for $157 and a couple of touchdowns. I expect my homeboy to show you once and for all why he's the best thing going to this.
And I expect Derrick Henry to show you once again. I have never seen anything like Derrick Henry in my whole career. Never. He is, everybody's now, after we started it, everybody's comparing him to Eric Dickerson. So he's like Eric Henry now instead of Derrick, right? But listen, he's beyond Eric Dickerson because, as Eric said last Friday, he's like 6'4.5", 260. Eric is 6'3". Eric Dickerson, 6'3", played at 225.
Yeah, he said much less.
Okay, so I keep saying moose who runs like a deer because he's got a burst to him that's Dickerson-like. So he is just wearing down and out defenses, and I believe he's going to do the same thing to just a pretty good Kansas City defense.
But I think since week 11, I saw the stats, Skip, Kansas City leads the league in scoring defense at a little over 11 points a game.
Okay.
But Kansas City's defense is predicated on their offense. Is that race out to a big league, Skip, and make you take unnecessary risk knowing that the guy, if you give the ball back to Mahomes, he's going to put another touchdown on you, and you take unnecessary risk.
The Ravens were ranked 5th against the run for the regular season, and you saw what just happened, right?
Yep.
So I believe that a force of nature is going to hit Arrowhead.
You got to get the lead, though, Skip.
Yep.
You got to get the lead. You got to take them out of the run. You got to make you got, like you said, Patrick Mahomes versus Ryan Tannehill, where you really got to make it that battle as opposed to Derrick Henry versus Patrick Mahomes. You got to make it quarterback.
I'll take the 10 right now.
Ooh, got it.
Thank you.
That's my homeboy.
Yep.
Skip.
I got it.
That's a bad man, Skip. That's a bad man.
This is a bad team.
That's a bad man.
A good team.
Henry doesn't look that
Travis Kelce, you say you love Travis Kelce.
Oh, I do. He's the best pass catcher of any tight end.
Tyreek, had a Sammy Watkins showing.
I'm glad we got a Beckham.
You know Mecole Hardman, he due for one.
Makes things more fun
I just hope Marcus Robinson can catch this week. That's all I need him to do, just catch.
No mercy. The 49ers had no problems dismissing the Packers earlier this season in a very bad 37-8 win. Well, Kyle Shanahan doesn't want his team to think that it will be that easy in the NFC Championship game. Shanahan said that the previous game, quote, holds zero relevance to what's going to happen this Sunday. Fox Sports analyst Mark Schlereth joining us now. But Shannon, I will start with you here. Do you agree that the previous game, it holds no relevance?
Absolutely, I agree with him. Because Mark can attest to this. Our first Super Bowl run, we had to go beat two teams that had just beaten us early in the season. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. We had just lost to Kansas City like 3 weeks earlier on a 54-yard Pete Stoyanovich field goal. We had to go back to the scene of the crime. No. See, people say it's hard to beat a team. It's not hard to beat a team twice when you're the better of the team. Simple as that. I believe the 49ers are better. But Kyle Shanahan can't say that. He needs to have them fear that Green Bay can beat them. Not fearful, but just know if we don't play our best game, they got a guy that's pulling the trigger over there that's pretty good. And they're more than capable of beating us if we're not on our best behavior. But for me, Skip, even Jack, the second year, Stink, you remember Miami on that Monday night beat the brakes off us. Oh, they having us a good old time. They celebrating. I never forget T-Buck and Sam Madison, Sertain. They dancing on the sideline. I'm just sitting back there looking, okay.
Which year was this?
98. We had just lost to the Giants. We were 13-0. Lost to the Giants, 13-1.
You lose at Miami?
At Miami.
Okay.
Guess what, Skip? They had to come see us in Denver. TD had a $1.99 in 3 quarters. I said, whoa, where all that dancing that I saw that Monday night?
38-3.
Well, that's like a Kawhi Leonard performance, right?
Wow.
Where's that dancing that I saw that Monday night? Everybody was all okay. No, but Skip, at the end of the day, look, I'm a firm believer, Skip, that it's easier to win after you lost the first because the coaches can come in and get your undivided attention and tell you, this is why we lost this game. You see that block right there? Just hold that block a little longer. TD gets to the hole a little quicker. No, but I just believe the 49ers. I don't know how things think, but I believe the 49ers are the better team. I don't think they have the better quarterback, but team, offense, defense, special teams coach, that belongs to the 49ers.
I completely agree. This game has no relevance to the San Francisco 49ers. The only thing you do with that film is if you have an individual matchup and you want to see how you played a guy.
Right.
Like I say, I got this 3 technique, and this 3 technique has a great outside move, and let me see how I set him. If there's something I can change up, that's the only thing that this film has relevance for. But for the Green Bay Packers, it has huge relevance.
Correct.
You go back, you study that, you look at these things, and you say, listen, if we just did this, this, and this, we've got a chance to win. So I'll go back, and you brought up a couple of games. I'll go back up to 1996. We got beat down in Green Bay. We locked everything up. We go 13-3 on the season. We go to Green Bay in December, got beat down 41-6. We had a bunch of guys injured, a bunch of guys didn't play. And let me tell you what, that game right there was the worst thing that could have ever happened to the Green Bay Packers when it came to Super Bowl 32. Because they're talking about how we can't block them, we can't run against them. And I'm like, dude, we started Bill Musgrave and Aaron Craver in the backfield. You guys didn't get us. You guys got the JV us. And you know what was interesting? We're sitting in the locker room, and Sharpton will remember this, man. We're sitting in the locker room, and they decide, the inactives come out, and they decide not to dress one of their defensive linemen, one of their rotational defensive linemen. And we were literally pissed off. Like the lack of respect. We're both cold weather teams. We're playing in San Diego. It's warm outside. And you think that you're so good that you're going to stop this running game without a rotation on the defensive line? Like the lack of respect that you have for us. And TD had 157 yards in 3 quarters because he missed a quarter with a migraine. Like that's the kind of whooping we put on him.
Roll him up.
Yeah. So this film is great for Green Bay. Correct. It does nothing for the Niners.
I disagree. You guys played, I only covered. But I've been watching lots of these kind of games happen. And remember, Bill Musgrave did not start at quarterback that night for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers did. And I'm with Kyle. You can't say this publicly, but the damage to Green Bay's psyche already got done. And I agree you can't rest on your laurels. You can't be overconfident going into this game. But the relevance already got instilled in the psyche of the Packers. They know they went in there at pretty full strength. Again, their offensive line, they didn't, you talked about Bulaga.
Right.
But the point is, they go in there on a Sunday night, they got annihilated. They got buzzsawed by the hottest buzzsaw probably in pro football, especially at that place. They are just annihilating everybody who walks in there, and it's over fast. So I believe that Green Bay's confidence will be fragile in the first quarter. If they jump on them the way they did on that Sunday night, 37-8, but if they just jump on them early, I think Green Bay's going to say, we're just not good enough. Deep down, they know they're not as good as that other team.
Right.
You can look at the film, you can say, let's do this, this, and this, and maybe if we do that, we'll have a chance in this game.
Right.
But I don't think they're going in there thinking, if we do these things, we will win this game, because they weren't even close. Aaron Rodgers threw for 104 yards, had a QBR of 9. It's abysmal by his standards. And you look at the total yards, it was 339 to 198. Yards per play, 2.8 for Green Bay to 7.5 for San Francisco. They got run off the field.
Okay, let me tell you, though, you can call it rationalizing it, you can call it whatever you want. But they'll look at that and say, hey, remember, at the beginning of the season, this offense doesn't match what Aaron Rodgers wants. Aaron Rodgers wants, I've spent 11 years being able to diagnose things at line of scrimmage. Why do I not have that? Like, there was a lack of continuity between play caller, head coach / quarterback.
Sure.
They have figured that out. I don't believe they've lost a game since that beatdown.
They have
right?
6 straight.
Right. So the bottom line is you're still figuring things out. You can use that to motivate you. Here's the other thing. Like, I'm with you guys. I think San Francisco's a better football team. I think they've got a better defensive line, although the Packers are very good with the Smith brothers and everything else. But I think they have a better, more complete football team. I think Kyle Shanahan is the best play caller and play designer in football, bar none. So I think all those things are true, and they are. But here's the deal. I know this. Number 10 will throw it to you 3 times. Can you catch it?
Okay.
He will give you an opportunity.
I've been telling you all year.
He'll give you an opportunity 3 times. Can you catch? He did it in Minnesota. They caught one of them.
Yeah.
He'll give you an opportunity.
Kittle's knocked one of them down.
He did.
Right?
He did.
But I tell you what they will do. They're going to run the football. Green Bay better bring 2 chin straps and some extra pads, because Kyle Shanahan is running the football.
Okay. And what did Jimmy G do all year long? He rode a weird roller coaster. He's kind of like a little naive, a little like sort of, I don't know where I am sometimes, but he'll have a bad game like he did against Kirk Cousins. And then if you look at what happened this year, he'll bounce right back with one where He's
throw
just
for 350.
It's like he has no memory of all those bad throws against Minnesota, and all of a sudden he lights up Green Bay.
He has been outstanding. I'm just telling you, there's 3 times a game where he's going to give you a chance.
He'll give you an opportunity.
Right, he'll give you an opportunity. But there is no question. I think the other thing that you have to understand about this offense that we played in and what Kyle has done with this offense is they will run, let's say they run a power play. They'll run it out of different formations, different motions, different window dressing. I mean, they ran when I was calling a game against Carolina where they ran power out of a bunch formation, a condensed bunch formation where Deebo Samuel was a runner, right? And here's the thing that's interesting. Like, you can run it out of I, you can run it out of near, you can run it out of far, you can run it any way you want. But for 9 guys, it's the exact same play, right? For 2 guys, it's different. The 2 guys have to adjust. For 9 guys, it's exactly the same. It's the same play we run constantly, right? But what happens to the defense? It looks completely different. It looks like something they've never seen before. So for us, from an execution standpoint on the offensive side, we're just running what we run. But for you, there's one play that looks like 9 different plays based on formations and motions, and that's the brilliance of what they do as an offense.
In the end, though, I don't think Green Bay can block that front because nobody's blocked it all year.
Yeah. They're relentless.
It's the equivalent. It's the Derrick Henry factor for San Francisco.
Wait a minute. D Ford's a first rounder. Eric Armstrong's a first rounder. Buckner's a first rounder. Nick Bosa's a first rounder, and their rotational guy was the 3rd overall pick in the first round in Solomon Thomas. He comes in as a rotational. You could put 5 first rounders up front, and I mean, they are unrelenting. They're
the
great.
First time they sacked Aaron 5 times, and Green Bay went 1 for 15 on 3rd down. 1 for 15.
They got to be better than that. Whew. They got to be almost 50% on 3rd down in order to, because they got to stay on the field. Because I don't think Green Bay's defense can stop the run. I don't believe they're going to hold up. They're going to run the football. That 3-headed monster, they're coming.
They'll figure out they will figure out a way. I promise you that.
Ooh. All right, good stuff, Mark. So good to have you with us.
Yeah,
appreciate it. No mercy. Panthers linebacker Luke Kuechly announced his retirement at the age of 28 yesterday. Kuechly was the 2013 Defensive Player of the Year and was an All-Pro in 5 of his 8 seasons. He made the announcement in an emotional video posted to the team's website. Take a listen.
You know, there's only one way to play this game since I was a little kid is to play fast and play physical and play strong. And at this point, I don't know if I'm able to do that anymore. And that's the part that is the most difficult is I still want to play, but I don't think it's the right decision, so.
I'm going to get choked up watching that again. Shannon, your reaction to Kuechly's retirement?
It's sad. You can tell he said it, I want to play, but I don't think it's a good idea. Skip, he's missed time because of head injuries, concussions. And what we're starting to see, Skip, guys are making more money now, earlier, and they're being smarter. We see Calvin Johnson retire. We see Gronk retire at an early age. Patrick Willis, Andrew Luck. We seeing guys now, they make money to get out because the guys didn't make the money like that, and you had to play maybe against your better judgment. But Luke Kuechly, Skip, this dude is for real. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year. The next year, he's Defensive Player of the Year. 7 straight Pro Bowls. It's not like he dropped off a cliff. He was 2nd team All-Pro behind Bobby Wagner. He and Bobby Wagner are the preeminent middle linebackers in all the NFL. And he says, you know what, guys, I want to play. But guys are getting smarter about this, Skip. We saw just the first round of the wild card round, we saw Carson Wentz. Head injury, instead of playing, I'm going to lie about it. Guys are getting smart because they see some of the things that have happened to players that came before them, and they're being smarter about them. Kudos to him. It takes a lot. The guy's 28, playing at an extremely high level. But he says, you know what? I'm not going to be 28 always. What happens when I'm 38? What happens when I'm 48? Kudos to him. I'm happy for him. He had a heck of a career.
Likewise. I'm not happy for us because we're not going to get to watch him anymore.
Right.
But we're all going to have to accept the fact the shelf life is shrinking because they're smarter, the money is better. He's made $64 million, and I'm going to assume, I don't know this, but that he's probably handled it pretty well.
Yes.
And he's probably in pretty good shape to go forward.
Yes.
But mentally, psychologically, he has to deal with this prospect of big issues, big head issues. I saw Luke Kuechly at a Super Bowl party when we were in Houston in 2016, and I was shocked how small he looked in person. He is not a huge man.
He's not.
And in street clothes, he just looked like another guy.
Normal. He looked like an average guy, yeah.
He looked like a real average guy, and I thought, that guy wreaks havoc like that?
Yes.
Well, he's got to use his head literally and figuratively because nobody played harder, nobody studied harder, and he could do it on both sides. He could blast you, and he could also pick you off.
Yeah.
And I will never forget the pick six he put on Tony Romo at the end of the half of a Thanksgiving game as they were on the way to the Super Bowl. Remember in 2015?
Yep. Not going to forget
that. There it is.
And he stiff armed him at the end.
There he goes. There he is. Boom.
Get out, brother.
Boom.
Take that with
that
you.
Guy. You know, he could cover like he was a DB.
Yeah,
man.
he could run. He could run. He was great. He was great in coverage.
Okay, so he had greatness written all over him, except he had to use his head to tackle. He led this league twice in tackles.
Since he's coming to the league, he's led the league, and he has more tackles than anybody in the league.
So I have watched quarterbacks be way ahead of this curve on I got to get out while the getting is good. I saw my favorite all-time Cowboy, Roger Staubach. Remember, he didn't start till he's 28 because he did a Vietnam hitch.
Yeah.
And at 38, only 10 years in, his doctor told him, if you keep doing this, you're going to pay for it in the long haul with your mind. It's going to go. And he just stopped cold, and we were all shocked. But his doctor said no. And then I saw Steve Young's doctors say no. And I saw Troy Aikman's doctors say, you can't keep doing this. And I have no idea how Tom Brady has lasted this long, given the potential head injuries, because Giselle has made reference. She was on one of the morning shows a year or so ago, and she said he's had some head injuries, right? But they don't ever get on the injury report, and he doesn't ever talk about that's a looming possibility. I've got to deal with my potential mind going forward. But he's the only one who's sort of shattered the mold.
And considering that the NFL career is about 3 years, Skip, and Tom Brady has lasted 20 years. And for as far as we know, but not concussions like Steve Young. When Steve Young took his last hit, I think Aeneas Williams hit him on a Monday night. Skip, he was literally sleeping on the field. I think LeVar Arrington was the last one to hit Troy Aikman up in Cowboy Stadium, Skip, and put him out.
He did.
And you're right. Guys are making more money now, and they're getting smarter. Skip, I think his name was Kevin Borland, the guy for the 49ers. He had a tremendous rookie season, and he just walked away and said, nope. Can't do it anymore.
All right. So the truth is, 28 for Luke Kuechly is actually up there in years. He's been doing this for a quote-unquote, by this shelf life, a long time.
Look, we just say the game is not – the guys are bigger, the guys are faster, and the collisions are greater. And I'm not surprised because, like you said, Calvin Johnson makes $115 million. It's easy to walk away. When guys – you bought a franchise. Jerry bought the franchise of the Cowboys for $140 million. Mr. Bolin bought the Broncos for $65 million. Well, Luke Kuechly made $64 million for what an owner bought a franchise for. So guys are getting it's not worth it. It's not worth it, Skip. And look, when you play something all your life, this is all you've done. But now guys are looking down the road because they're thinking, they see guys that they know. Instead of saying it can't happen to me, that absolutely can happen to me.
So for his sake, I hope he doesn't talk himself out of this. Because he's got potential to do that.
All right. The mental, just as important as the physical.
Absolutely.
And we do wish him the best in his next stage of his career.
No mercy.
Former All-Pro receiver Chad Johnson is looking to make a comeback at a different position. Johnson has a scheduled tryout with the XFL to be a place kicker. Johnson has some experience kicking an extra point in a preseason game for the Bengals in 2009. So, Shannon, what shot do you give him to make it?
Not a good shot, but I wish him the best of luck. Skip, we always think, all professional athletes think they can do another professional athlete's job. Kickers, and we marginalize kickers, but it's tough to try to. They're not kicking PATs, Skip. You're only kicking field goals and kicking off, and they moved it back because they want to encourage kickoff returns. I don't think he's going to make it, but I wish him all the best of luck. I'll be watching to see what he does, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I know Chad pretty well, and a lot of people will dismiss this as a publicity stunt, and I can tell you in his heart of hearts, he really, really wants this to work. Chad loves soccer. Again, it's called football everywhere else, but he played it when he was a kid. He's played some professional soccer for Boca Raton FC, various leagues, and it's in his heart. In fact, when I've talked to him, I think he loves soccer even more than he loved football. So this is dear to him. I just don't know. He can definitely kick extra points. They don't have extra points.
Right.
I don't know what his range is going to be.
Right.
I'm not sure. Can he kick it from 35 or 40? Not easy.
No.
You know how hard that is.
Everybody think it's easy. Oh, I can do that. No, you can't. I mean, I laugh when people say, "Man, I could have caught that pass." You never caught a pass, and you never kicked off. Look, I kicked in height, but Skip is different. Kicking in that, kicking with a little T holding the ball, and you kick the ball in net. Skip, that's different. When you go out there and the game means something.
Yep.
And guys are trying to actually block it. I wish him best of luck. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey. I ain't gonna rain on the man parades. I'll be watching to see if he can make it.
Hey, why not?
I think he's got a shot.
Okay.
And I think this league could use him.
I was going to say, the XFL, Fox Sports, we've got the XFL. They would love it.
I can do something. I mean, maybe I'll try for quarterback.
Please don't.
Maybe.
Okay.
This arm.
No offense,
this thing
but I
up.
don't think that they're interested. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning
Gotta be like Lamar
at
Jackson.
9:30.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.